floats your boat, brother. Whatever you're into, you go right ahead and be into it for as long as you want to be into it. And when you're done being into it, maybe you move on. Who knows? I'll never give you shit for what you try or what you want to get into.
I love it when we open the show like that.
Oh shit, are we live?
We are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MLB 2025/26 regular season prediction show. If you don't know, we would have recorded, but I didn't proofread it, so it's my fault. Look at my guy, Sack. He made this beautiful background along with the awesome thumbnail that's going to be posted. You the man, buddy.
Okay.
You are. It's great. I couldn't do that. Today we are going to discuss America's pastime. Who's ready for
it? I'm not sure we're ready for that.
Pastime.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's what it's called, right?
I don't know. Fuck, dude. Who knows? Who knows what
You're a big baseball guy.
I don't know what anything's called anymore. What do you mean, man? Come on.
We are the biggest baseball guys in the room.
In the room, definitely right now. I'm the biggest baseball guy in the room at this current moment. I like baseball, dude. Baseball's my number one sport, I would say, and I am what I would consider at least a complete fucking nerd for like every professional sporting organization that exists that doesn't include dribbling a ball. So, but baseball always tops it. Even when my team is bad or the league isn't doing great, which I mean, I don't know. I've been around long enough. Baseball is the greatest game that we play as adults playing games. Does that
Are you talking about? I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like
it's the show, right?
Oh, there you go. Hey, maybe we both dude, I've thought about that, man. We both just need to pick up the live stream on that and try and get partnerships. Those guys are awesome with their partners, with the guys they work with. MLB The Show, SDS. Those guys are badass. They do a lot of
shout out Ramon. Ramon.
My guy, Ansel Armstrong, I haven't checked in to see if he's in on the new game. What I have seen is a dude who I bought merch with his name on it now doing ads on TikTok for mobile games and shit, like the cheesy fucking I'm playing this awesome mobile game, look. Like, so
who are you a merch mark for?
Okay. Well, if I'm gonna talk about shit that I have, like,
who are in this TikTok, this commercial?
Oh, Ansel Armstrong.
Oh, that you're talking about? You bought?
Yeah, Ants? I bought a hoodie of his when he put him out. It was on a Champion hoodie too, dude. He did a nice little like one-off line. It's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I've merch hoard for PewDiePie too. I have a couple of PewDiePie hoodies. But that's about it.
Do you watch Ants? One video that comes to mind is when he made, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, he actually went and pitched and he was trying to hit spots with blitz ball. It's on YouTube. Check it out.
Okay, I will. Yeah, that dude taught me how to flip cards, though. That's why I stuck with him. Was several years ago, flipping cards in the market was actually something you could do as like part of the game. You can, if you're gonna play 300 hours of the game, you would spend 20 or 25 flipping cards. So it was a great little. And it's what actually made me play the show as much as I did, was him teaching me how to flip, because that was such a fun aspect. And it became a game that you could get any card you wanted without having to spend money, which, I mean, those things rarely exist. That's why it's still a good franchise. It's fallen off. We've both started playing. We both bought early, the early digital deluxe, blah, blah, to get access early. And we've been playing it. And I'm hopeful. I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot more of a carbon copy than I would have liked, but the new diamond I gave the
Quest.
Diamond Quest. Yeah, Diamond Quest. I gave that a real shot today. I played a couple of those, got through the first 3 or the first 2, and that's kind of a fun little game mode actually. But you got to rely on your Diamond Dynasty roster, which like right now just getting started.
Who did you get? Did you get any of the special cards?
No, I didn't. I thought it was 100%. Like for the first one, like for the starter one, I thought it was 100%. I didn't get either one of them. I was like, what the hell?
You got to check because you can scroll down.
Oh, well, maybe I didn't do that.
Yeah. So
okay.
A little
we're gonna
inside
be together here.
Yeah, a little insight on that is if you get the Aaron Judge, I believe he's an 80 overall. He actually, if you put him on your team, he's actually a 99 overall.
Really?
So it actually slaps. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go look and see if I have him because if I finished it. So, and I did it on veteran. So it was 100% to get the second card. Yeah. Okay, cool. Then so, I'll go put him on my roster right away.
So I did that one. I got all the cards. I did the one with Matt Shaw. I got Matt Shaw.
Okay.
I got Chase Burns. I got Bazana. I got who's the other one? Noah Schultz. But then the last one, I folded in the stadium and I lost. I had everything on the board and I lost the damn game in extra innings.
Oh wow! Well, I've already gone through. I've already gotten to the All-Star break on my first franchise, and I set up the enter the game moments. Which, by the way, I love that they added that to franchise. That you can just that, and I know they did it last year, but where you just set your moment. Like if you want to come in, you know, I'm not going to come in until after the 7th inning. You know, I have to be up or down by a run, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like the conditions to go into the game, to sim through a season is kind of nice because to play every single 162 games, like
it's a lot.
It is. It really is. And it's like, unless you turn the game on some difficulty that is gonna make it like feel like work, you know, you're not doing anything but like just running up stats over the course of a season too, you know. So it makes it feel a little bit more genuine, I think, to do a little bit more of the simming for a franchise if you want to run it and not have your team be 162 and or
right. Have we had a diamond pool yet?
No. You have though.
I have 2. I didn't send you the second one last night.
What's the second one?
Mookie Betts.
That's a good one.
88,000 or something.
Nice.
So, that was wild.
At you. Flying high.
Ooh. All right. So real live baseball now. The off season, they built it up like it was going to be the greatest off season ever, and then Juan Soto signed with the Mets for I think he owns the city of New York now.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it at the time. The Mets owner decided that he wanted him, and it didn't matter what he was going to have to pay. He was going to get him, so that's what happened there.
So that domino fell, and then everyone else was just waiting, and then all the other teams had contingency plans, and lo and behold, everyone else went to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers swept up way more than I would have even thought they needed. Like, what is it? I don't know. I don't know what the goal is here. I really don't. And I don't.
Well, why wouldn't baseball step in and be like?
Well, see, but that's the problem. And okay, so this is going to lead to this entire conversation being about this, actually, because no matter who we come down to, in the end, prediction wise, whatever, this is going to just be the who gets to play the Dodgers in the World Series show. And I feel like most preseason shows have been that way, and it kind of sucks. But what is baseball going to do? And do you really want them to do anything that they would do? Right? I think personally, I think a lot of other owners, or at least a handful of other owners at this point, need to sack up and get in the game. And I think it's going to take the Dodgers winning the World Series, maybe even sweeping the World Series, for other owners to be like, okay, we just can't let this happen. And by other owners, I don't mean Pittsburgh's owner. I mean, other big market owners that have, the billions of dollars that can say, I don't care that you're offering him this much. I'm still going to offer him more because you don't get him anymore. And that's what it's going to take, it looks like. And all of the options that Major League Baseball would have would hurt the game for the fans, in my opinion, or would just hurt the product overall. I think a salary capped MLB is like the worst possible outcome for the sport, like 100%.
So I'm glad that you gave that viewpoint, because I'm going to give you a different viewpoint.
Okay.
So, little known fact, but Pirates owner Bob Nutting is actually like the 7th richest owner in all of baseball. He just doesn't spend. That's how you have money, you don't spend it. But what are there, 30 teams in major leagues? 32. There you go, 32. I'm sure there's going to be more, so date us. But the Dodgers having all of these players is going to affect everything else, because I live in Pittsburgh, you live in Milwaukee, say Chicago, either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's an hour and 12 minutes away.
Yeah.
But for basically, you have a family of 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, that are going to go to a game. Mm-hmm. And it's going to cost you $500 to go to a game.
It already does.
Right. Are you going to want to spend $500 to go to a game to see the Dodgers?
People do.
You going to want to, right. But are you going to want to go see them play the Marlins? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna affect it.
That cuts both ways. That cuts both ways too, though, because everywhere they go, people are gonna want to go see them. Like, other states will sell more tickets when they're there than they do for any other game.
Attendance is also going to drop for when every other team comes, because it's proven.
That's predictive.
It's happened in basketball the last 10 years once the super teams were born.
Okay, that's fine. Basketball is still under max deals. They're still under salary caps. Like that's basketball is trash, bro.
It is.
Basketball sucks.
I agree.
Like, as a product, it is trash right now. Period.
It is.
And I don't.
Of the super team.
And
LeBron,
dude. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and I do this shit sometimes when it comes down to this stuff, because the American, like, we do things a certain way in this country, and it's why we're not successful in soccer yet. It's why our soccer organization hasn't taken off the ground, is because we've tried to run it like an American soccer organization, where they have how much they can spend and the blah, 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 so that everybody makes the same amount of money. And the European fucking soccer organizations, the Japanese model of baseball, for instance, like, it's just not the way these things operate. Like, bigger teams, like, you pay into contracts for TV rules and everything else. That's part of the problem baseball is having right now too, is they have retracted into this weird, like, we want to go back to being localized. We don't, like, the national audience doesn't matter to baseball anymore, it seems like. And maybe it's good for baseball. Maybe that's how baseball stays better, because if you discount the national audience, you're still driving your local audiences. So if the sport is good, it's good. But you want to appeal to a national audience. That's what the NFL proves every year, right? So I think it's a problem that they're losing national audience, they're losing contracts, blah, blah, blah. But it's because everybody wants their own TV deal. Everybody wants their own channel. Everybody wants their own thing. And if they went into a pot with these certain things a little bit better, but did the haves and the have-nots, and maybe even played a little minor league gets to come up and put some teams at risk. You do some things like that. It doesn't matter if you have super teams. People are still going to care about their local teams, which baseball is very local. It still is. And I've always liked it. But I mean, I also come from the fan base of like the first nationalized baseball team with the Cubs, like
WGA.
And yeah, and but I like the localization of baseball, and I think you'll have that, and you could get minor league baseball, AAA, if you worked something like that with the teams and the way you structured it properly. Dude, AAA could take off. And some of these towns, these baseball towns, AAA, I don't know how many AAA stadiums you've been to, but some of them are freaking gorgeous, dude. And they sell them out like regularly, because towns, especially big, like you don't have to be in a city to love baseball and want to watch it. And when you're talking about $500 to take a family of 4 down to Pittsburgh or wherever, Chicago, to see a baseball game. But if you have, the Toledo Mud Hens, you can take that same family of 4 down and you can go to a game right now for $50. Well, if they actually had a shot, and like, let's say they're playing better, they have better talent, they're investing better, they're doing better as a business than, let's say, I don't know, the Florida Marlins,
Chicago White Sox,
the Chicago White Sox, great example, right? And you actually had a threat there.
It would be exciting.
You're gonna tell me that that the owners, that Reinsdorf, that they're not gonna put money into shit, that they're not gonna try harder to not be that team, and again, that's a huge over, turning it into the Premier League, blah blah. I get it, but there is going to be, and I'll put this down right here, there's going to be a correction. And it is likely to be an overcorrection to this situation, because I do think that whether or not Major League Baseball wants to step in, I think other owners have to take some responsibility for it. And other people, like, people have to figure out a way to make it work in the game together. Like, and if the Dodgers are being kind of rogue, well, you either play the game or they win it, because, or baseball steps in and then we have major rule changes. And if we're going to do that, I think everything should be on the table.
Well, that'll come. There's a bargaining agreement coming up next year?
Yeah.
So here's what's going to happen is they're signing all these guys to 6 to 8 year contracts. There's nowhere else for them to go. So when the free agent, that's why the owners are letting them to go right now, because this contract is up, and then the next cycle, they're not going to have any spots in their roster unless they start trading and selling for pennies on the dollar. So that's probably what the other owners are looking at. But I have an idea.
What happens when they have to trade half of their fucking roster? Like, that's the other thing. Like, not every single one of these dudes that they're paying is worth what they're paying. It's just not how it works.
Well, Ha-Seong Kim, he got 2 years, $15 million, and he got optioned to AAA.
Yeah.
So,
Joey Gallo couldn't even make the White Sox. Has to be the funniest shit I've heard all day.
Well, he was 2 for 20, and now he's going to be a pitcher. Did you see that?
He's like 40 fucking 6 years old or some shit.
No, he's like 30 something.
Is he?
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
sorry,
it is a problem. But why not have everybody likes David and Goliath? So why not have the big market teams in one league, have the small market teams in another, just for playoff reasons, and then you can relegate.
Yeah,
after
you could do something like that just within the MLB, and you could add more teams so that the balance cut, because I think there's a lot of middle market teams in MLB right now that belong to have like chances, right? That should always be in the top, because it's probably a fifths. Like if you really broke it down, like if we sat here and did this, and that's not what we're doing. We are going to move on to talk about these teams and everything. But like if you really broke it down, it's probably into fifths. And if you took that bottom fifth and said, okay, we're going to move you down to this lower league, or even the two of the bottom fifths down, and then created some AAA teams and turned them into that have proven they're ready, that are professional level teams, or you expand. I mean, which I don't know. I don't know necessarily that. I mean, it's not any different. I mean, it really isn't any different. You're still going to spread out talent kind of similarly. So yeah, I mean,
but then the product is going to get watered down if you spread.
But right now, the product is tremendous. Like it's a good time to have it, and the way that the relationship with Japanese players has continued to increase, and that's adding a lot of value that I think we as American fans do not take into account. Yeah, we don't even consider it, because don't even think about it. And I think it's huge. And there's a lot of great things going for baseball right now, even with the World Series that they had. And guess what, guys? Prediction alert. The Dodgers are going to be in the World Series.
I don't think they are.
Yes, they are.
They're going to fold.
Okay. Well, you tell me who by the end of this show. Stay tuned.
Yeah, watch us for 2 hours while we talk nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're having a fucking tremendous conversation. Right now, baseball as it is, though, we have the conferences, we have the divisions the way they are, and I do believe, just going into this, I do believe that the Dodgers will probably have a pretty easy ride. They might go to 6 games in the playoffs at some point, but
they should have lost last year.
It's just going to be too overwhelming. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, bro. Like, right. It's overwhelming. And that's why there's 7-game series, is that when you're built the way they're built, you are overwhelming. You choke them out. You bring them into deep waters and you choke them out.
I agree.
Like the thing about the playoffs that makes it so exciting for almost every sport is the concept of any team on any given day, right? When you go into long series, it becomes more about attrition, whatever. But the thing that I always love about it is every series you have players that you don't expect. 1 through 9, you look up and down a lineup, you're like, these guys are going to produce, or they have to produce. If they don't produce, they're fucked, right? Like if Judge doesn't hit, 3 home runs in a playoff series, you're in trouble, right? Like that kind of shit. But then there's always the dudes, the Aaron Boones and the guys that you don't necessarily see. The problem is that shit doesn't matter when you're playing a Dodgers team. Like 7-game series, great. You have somebody that's stepping up. It doesn't matter. We have 7 of our 9 guys that are all playing at their regular level. Guess what? Their regular level is all fucking world. Keep up. It just like, our 3 stars are playing real good, but our number 4 and number 5 guys, instead of playing like potential all-stars, are playing like perennial all-stars. Great. We've got 7 guys playing like Hall of Famers. Like, I don't care. Like in over 7 games, it just doesn't matter. They're going to just wipe everybody. So, but the World Series, is a different story.
Well, you got to get the Dodgers early when they're in that best of 3 series. You saw it, how exciting
Will they
it could
play
be
in a best of 3 series? They'll start with a best of 5. They'll get the bye.
Isn't it 3?
They'll get the bye. There's one bye, right? That starts at 5, and they'll get it.
Yeah, you might be right, but like you saw the cream of the crop last year, and it was exciting. What was it, Cleveland and Detroit? When Detroit just ran out of gas because they had a bunch of mid pitchers.
Exactly. That's where they had a bunch of dudes who were playing like all-stars that are not all-stars. Right. And they looked, man, that was a good series.
It was fun.
I enjoyed the playoffs last year. I'm looking forward to this season. And can I just say, like, we can say this about the Dodgers, but how many times are you going to watch the Dodgers play this year?
I don't know.
I mean, how many times do they play Pittsburgh, right? Like that's my point about the localization aspect of it. Like, I'll watch some Dodgers games when they're on national TV, probably if I'm watching, but like I'll be watching Cubs. So unless they're playing the Dodgers, and when I look at highlights, yeah, I'm going to see what the Dodgers are doing, but like, I'm going to watch the Cubs. So,
I think that can segue into our next little bit here.
Okay.
This is the last year for Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN.
Oh, dude, I'm bummed.
Right? I mean, you're talking about national and localization.
Yeah.
For 25 years, 30 years. I mean, we grew up, you watched the bottom line, you watch Baseball Tonight, and you watch Sunday Night Baseball with John Miller and Joe Morgan, and you just love life. The game doesn't matter who's playing because they're telling you stories. They're building the games, and now
I think that's dead. See, so I think that's part of the problem, and I actually think it's a good thing that ESPN is doing this. I think it's good for baseball. I think it will be. Really? I know that the national audience thing, we're talking about it, but I think that there's going to be an answer. I don't necessarily know what it is, but I do think there's an answer. But I think ESPN is just losing, like they're just losing audience, like substantially. And I just don't think the product was that, like what you were just describing hasn't been Sunday Night Baseball the last couple of years. What I've hated about Sunday Night, and what I don't like about Sunday Night Baseball right now, is they take my announcer from me. Like Boog goes and does Sunday Night Baseball and leaves the Cubs to go announce for ESPN, and he does that whenever they have any other national games too. And it's like, well, now hopefully we'll have Boog the whole season, which will be awesome. I doubt that's what's going to happen, because look, MLB TV is probably gonna put some money behind all of this too. I think that the streaming aspect of it, I think this is gonna just be a big opportunity. But losing ESPN sucks. It does. I'm not gonna undersell it. It just, I kind of think in the end, ESPN is, first of all, I think ESPN is in trouble, period. Just my opinion, but
I think I agree. Yeah. The weird thing about baseball, what is it? Friday night is Apple TV. They have their game of the week,
which I love. By the way, they do really cool coverage. Have like the way they do. They have cool
coverage. Stats.
Yep.
Their announcers suck though.
Well, of course. Yeah. They don't have baseball cred yet. They don't have baseball people.
Who's like the early Sunday 11 o'clock? Is that Peacock?
Ooh, it might be. I don't know. I'm not even. See, I don't know. Again, I watch MLB TV. Like I stream because I need to watch the Cubs games, and I'm out of market. So, and it's a good answer, and it's affordable as fucking shit. $97 for the whole season. I can watch any game I want any day.
That's cool.
Like no other league is doing anything even remotely close to that. It's not even
look at funny. Football. You watch 2 games a day, and it's like $500.
Yeah. Football is more a month. The Sunday ticket bullshit that they re-rolled out with YouTube TV is more a month than what I paid for MLB TV for the whole year, dude, for the whole season. And I get to watch like Cactus League games. I get to watch AAA games. Like I can do whatever. It's an awesome app, and it is blackouts. They only black out national games, and then whenever they play Milwaukee, because I'm in the Milwaukee area, so I don't get to watch them when they're playing Milwaukee. And I can't watch on local TV because they don't have local TV here. You have to pay for a special package. Even if you have cable, you have to pay for a special channel to watch the Brewers here. It's ridiculous. It's so
where
bad.
They're screwing themselves.
Well, the Brewers are going to be gone, dude. I think the Brewers are going to be selling within the next 5 years, in my opinion. I think their stadium is going to they need a lot of reconditioning to their roof, and the people don't want to pay for it. The voter, dude, it's a whole political thing. It's a big deal here. And there's some marks.
Rest in peace, Bob Uecker, by the way.
Oh my God, yes.
So that's a big thing.
Big loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things where a lot of people in Milwaukee might actually lose their taste for the team without him there. Because he was, I don't think you can really explain it to people that don't understand, that only know Bob Uecker from Major League or whatever.
He's the heart and soul.
Yeah, he was their radio guy for 40 years.
Longer.
He's on TV everywhere, so it's kind of heartbreaking. It was a big loss.
It's very similar to when the Cubs lost Harry Carey.
Yeah, it is actually, and I think it's equally as impactful too.
Yeah, the Braves losing Chip Carey and Skip Carey and all of that. But that's the other thing is, if you're watching this and you're younger than us, you don't understand that you could watch the Braves on TBS, you could watch the Cubs on WGN, and most cable packages, even though you had 30 channels, you also had WWOR or whatever it was, and you could watch the Mets.
Yeah.
So that was our nation.
Well,
even that growing up, and then we had Sunday Night Baseball.
Even when the Yes Network came out, the Yes Network was on every cable package you got buried somewhere, so you could watch the Yankees.
You got a lot of those blacked out though.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, it was like that. It was, and I mean, TBS, TNT, man, they would show a lot too. They wouldn't just show Braves games. Like they had the South pretty well. Guess what? We're back to talking about territorial days. Let's do that. Thanks, Ted Turner. Love you, dude. Wish you would have stuck around a little bit longer instead of selling to AOL, you fucker. Anyway. Oh man.
So baseball season.
Yes, baseball season.
All right. So I just have a little list here.
Okay.
And this is going to be
I made sure I made a list too, but all I got to was making sure that I listed every single team in their proper divisions so that because that's the level of idiot I can make myself sound like when I just don't even have any notes, and I generally have no notes.
All right. So let's start the AL East. Their off-season moves, and we'll start with Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
They got Anthony Santander, which he's coming off of 49 home runs, something with Baltimore. They got Jeff Hoffman. They got Max Scherzer. They got a bunch of other mid guys. They were known for the team of being second place for every big free agent.
They have a lot of money. I think a lot of people don't realize how much money the Blue Jays actually have and that they actually spend. And they probably should have pushed a little bit harder, but why would they? If you're the Blue Jays, why would you want to be first on every free agent when you have somebody on your roster who is about to become a huge free agent? Just throw all that money at him, get him signed, whatever you have to do.
They won't though.
Well, then you make sure that when he hits free agency, you have every penny you can to throw at him then. He wanted to go to free agency. Fine. That's what his agent says he has to do. Fine. But you make sure you re-sign him in free agency. You just have to pay free agent money instead of getting the hometown discount. Fine. You do not let Vladimir Guerrero Jr. fucking leave your organization if you're Toronto. And if you do, you better fucking trade him. You better fucking trade him.
I'm gonna guess he is going to be
an LA Dodger.
No, they have Freddie. I bet he goes to the Cubs or the Mets next year.
Okay, so what you just said though, that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, and it's something I'm probably going to mention now 15 times. It's going to become the trend of this show. They've got Freddie. Okay. But they're the Dodgers. So even though they've given Freddie all this money, at some point, if a dude like, I don't know, say Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes up in free agency and you're looking, but we owe Freddie all this money, what do? We're the Dodgers. We got to pay every best free agent at the time so we can keep winning, because it's not going to be another year or two before Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a better first baseman than Freddie Freeman. I'm just saying. And that's going to happen at every position for this team. At every position.
Toronto also has Bo Bichette that's going to be a free agent after this year. So
okay, you've already Bo Bichette. Has he developed or not? Do you think that Bo Bichette is actually a free agent that matters, or is Bo Bichette better off just re-signing and trying to develop a little bit more? Because he hasn't turned into any type of,
he's a monster.
Name though. Yeah. So that that cuts both ways. If he goes to a bigger market in America, right? Like if he goes to the Yankees, or like, the scrutiny is going to get turned up dramatically, right? So the name starts to, well, why aren't you better than this, dude? Why aren't you doing a little bit more, So I'd stay in Toronto if I were Bo Bichette.
Yeah, there's no real pressure. Could you imagine, where Bo, he could go to like the Rockies on some like crazy deal and have zero pressure, just make a lot of money and live life, and get high and just go.
Yeah. And be just like Chris Bryant.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I saw he was
former Rookie of the Year, former fucking NL MVP, former World Series champion. Yeah, exactly. Who?
We're going. No. This is why I said who. I was playing a showdown yesterday, and Chris Bryant was one of the common cards that was just thrown onto my bench. So that's how far he's fallen. I think he was either a 58 or a 62.
That is so. Well, first of all, the ratings are so throttled. Yeah. Like the curve, they have the curve set very, very low, because like there are a lot of 70s, that 73 to 78 that you're like they're probably going to be diamond in the live series by the middle of the season if they do the adjustments. But like I think it's purposeful, because the game is kind of nerfed in that way. Like they've they're not like 99s from the start, guys. Thank God. I like that part of it, by the way, taking the seasons out, going back to the innings. I love that. Very happy. Okay, now we've gone back to this. Where were we? Toronto. Baltimore. You were talking. We moved on to Baltimore.
We're going to start Baltimore.
Okay, let's go.
They are one of those teams that's right there, and they had a very bad offseason. They got Tyler O'Neill, they got Charlie Morton, they got Dylan Carlson, and Ramon Laureano. They missed out on their ace, Corbin Burns. Mm-hmm. They didn't get a second guy to refill them, and they just kind of...
Yeah. I over-predicted on them last year. I thought they were going to be better. Yeah. I thought the talent was going to be developed a little bit cleaner. I mean, Gunnar is a fucking stud. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how much of the rest of that team is gonna pull up. We're gonna see.
Find out this year.
Yeah, I mean, every name you just named that they picked up in free agency, I'm sitting here as a fan of another team going, I'm glad we didn't sign them.
Well, I'm sitting here And I'm like, man, I wish we signed them.
Well, I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Like,
Okay, so I still probably have them finishing second. Like I know we're not there yet, but like I still have them being a fairly good team. Their rotation took a hit, but they have some young guys that have a season under their belt now. There's a little bit of aging process that goes on. They were the youngest team in baseball, I think, or the second youngest or something. So like they're going to grow. They're going to keep progressing. And I'm still going to be watching the Orioles because they have young, exciting talent in the game. So,
I mean, you need a breakout year from Adley Rutschman, who's just kind of gone. You need Jackson Holiday to take that step forward. Colton Cowser will probably step up. Colby Mayo.
All young guys, man. All young guys. So
and Grayson Rodriguez is unfortunately hurt. So that sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Now we can go back down to the trailer park. No, Tampa.
You want to do? Yeah. You want to? I was gonna pretend that they weren't, that they didn't exist. Well, no, I don't really have anything. Like, what did Tampa do this offseason, buddy? What did Tampa do this offseason?
Eloy, Danny Jansen, Ha-Sung Kim.
They didn't get any better.
No, not at all.
No.
Boston. Now they spent some money this offseason. They traded for Garrett Crochet. They signed Bregman. They signed Walker Buehler. They signed Patrick Sandoval. They signed Aroldis Chapman, Adam Ottavino, and Matt Moore.
So 2 things off that list that I really wanted. I wanted Walker Buehler and I wanted Garrett Crochet. So like bad. So I'll go ahead and say kudos to Boston. They look better. But I don't know. They weren't a very good team. They're still kind of on the outs. They're not. Are they playoff? Do you think they're a playoff team this year? I'm still saying probably not, but maybe.
I think they need like 4 or 5 guys to step up, and then maybe.
I was looking at their rotation.
They need Brian Bayo to step up and.
So Crochet, I don't know why. Like when they traded for him, I was like, I asked you straight up. I was like, are they planning on putting him in the bullpen? Because I just kind of thought he was still kind of headed towards the bullpen. Obviously not. But Walker Buehler, I love Walker Buehler. I think outside of Dodger Stadium, I hope he's just as good, if not better. Giolito is he still
washed.
Good? Yeah.
Brian
Bello, yeah. And then Cutter Tanner Houck, Tanner Houck, I like. So I mean, their rotation's not bad. They
need Trevor Story.
Is Aroldis Chapman still capable of throwing 95? Let alone
104 last year.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was here. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they got Bregman too.
They had Bregman, Story, Devers, Casas.
That was another thing that I love Alex Bregman.
Really?
Anyway, yeah, I'm a big fan. So then the Yankees, right? So I don't think the Yankees aren't going to be touched. Do we agree on that? Are we both kind of agree? Like the Yankees are going to win this division probably, even if they come out slow or they look weak in the middle. They're still going to win it.
Well, here's where this changes.
Okay.
So their ace is out for the year.
Yeah, no
Garrett
shit.
Cole. Ever hear of him?
I fucking drafted his ass. Dude, okay, hey, insider baseball, all you people. This is who this dude is if you haven't figured it out yet just by watching this show. He waited, but after the draft was over, first text I get, hey, just so you know, Garrett Cole's out for the year.
I was driving home.
Oh, okay. No, I knew he was injured. I read the injury report wrong, and I thought it said oh, you took a drink of your water, and the camera said, "Let me in, big boy." Yeah. All right. So so their ace is, dude, is it gonna back up? There it goes. Okay, so their ace is gone, and
they signed Max Fried.
I mean, that's good. That's good.
The rookie of the year, Luis Gill, he's hurt. He's probably out for the year, so that hurts them. Rodon will be back. He'll be good.
How good?
He was 14 to 16 games.
Yeah, but I'm. Okay.
Look at their rotation.
They did get Devin Williams though, and I like that
Great
was a
arm
big
on them.
yeah that was big. Their pen is sick, dude. Their pen is sick.
They are. They have a playoff bullpen.
Yeah.
So here's a little bit that you can maybe say, this actually fits. They got rid of Glaber, who's fucking awful defensively.
He's not good defensively. He's a solid on base guy though. I liked him, but yeah, okay. They get rid of him, but they put Jazz there, right? So they moved Jazz out of the outfield, put him at second.
They got Goldschmidt at first, who's a Gold Glove caliber,
but he's getting old.
And
he's replacing a Gold Glove first baseman who is getting old.
Who makes you jizzo?
Yeah, Rizzo makes me jello in my pants. So
yeah, they did lose Juan Soto. They lost Clay Holmes. They lost Nestor. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for them, but I'll say they win that division by like 4 or 5 games. I think it goes down the last 2 weeks.
They added Cody though. I thought that was pretty big. Jason Dominguez is still on his way up. And obviously with Judge in center, I mean, what do you do there? I don't know how you work around that. I don't know how
Stanton's
you do.
hurt too.
What's that?
Stanton's hurt too. He's got a bad elbow.
Yeah. But right now on their depth chart, the way they have it is that Judge is going to play right. And I know in this show, that's how they have Judge. They have Judge out and right again. So
who's in center?
Bellinger.
Cody?
Yeah, Bellinger. And then
in left,
Jason. Yeah, Jason out and left. So I mean, like that's a pretty nice outfield if you believe in Jason Dominguez. Like that's a pretty big hitting outfield. Like that's a pretty decent fielding outfield. It's a good outfield. Their infield,
third base,
dude, Volpe. Oh my God, you're Oswaldo Cabrera.
It's so the big market Yankees didn't fill holes, and they let guys internally get a shot. Yeah. So
I agree. I think they're going to win the division. I got them winning the division.
What do they have for the rotation?
Well, Cole is out. Rodon is out, but he's coming back, right? Fried, Gill is hurt, you said. Stroman and Clark Schmidt. So he's young, right?
Second year.
Yeah.
Definite weakness right there. So.
Oh yeah, but
the pen is going to save them.
Yeah. No, the runs that they score will save them. They're going to score a lot of runs. They will be in the top 5 in the AL in runs scored. That I will write it down. Actually, somebody should be writing this shit down, but because I'm going to say a lot of that shit, and it's like, how many of these things do we ever check back on?
All of our viewers comment.
Yeah. No, I'm getting my own notebook out because I'm serious, man. I want to write this shit down. No, I'm not. I'm wasting too much time. Okay. So Yankees, that's how I feel about it.
Yep.
AL Central. Oh.
the Cleveland Guardians. It's still so weird to me.
Can we just
Isn't it?
why can't we start with the worst team in Major League Baseball in history?
I see. I think you leave the shit at the bottom. So the Guardians, they re-signed Shane Bieber. They get a hurt John Means. They signed Carlos Santana after they trade their all-star first baseman. They made a 3-way deal with the Pirates to get Luis Ortiz, who's a decent swingman. They really didn't do much. They signed Paul Sewald, who got shelled last year.
Yeah, they don't look. Cleveland, I have them. Okay, yeah, no, their rotation looks good. Like their rotation is.
Gavin Williams.
I mean, Tanner Bibby is really good. Yeah, I do. Gavin Williams is okay. Tristan McKenzie is still growing. You know, like Shane Bieber is good, dude. I don't know what's wrong with Shane Bieber. Hurt. No, they're middle of the pack right now in the AL, and I definitely do think their fielding is gonna their infield is gonna be a problem. I don't see anybody who hits for anything. I think they're gonna be a team that sells. There's another prediction for you. I think by the All-Star break, Cleveland will be a team that is selling.
Okay.
Yeah. And now to a team that I think will be buying. Guessing Kansas who you're City, going to next? Yep.
Kansas City Royals.
Bam!
So, very odd trade, but very sneaky. Really could be really good. They traded Brady Singer for Jonathan India. I like that deal.
I do too.
They got a bullpen arm in Carlos Estevez. They re-signed Michael Lorenzen, and they made a trade for Joey Weimer, who's mid. You'd think that a team in that position, they missed out on Santander. Like, if they'd have got one bat.
The Santander thing, I think, would have been good for them. I just don't like. They already have that guy, like in Hunter there, honestly, and MJ. So they have MJ Melendez on their depth chart coming up, like ready to go, and he's
left field.
Yeah, and you got Hunter Renfroe out and right. You've got Kyle Isbell, Joey Waymer. Yeah, so I mean, but dude, again, Bobby Witt, bro. Bobby Witt. He's becoming like Mike Trout level of like, holy fucking shit, this dude is good, in my opinion.
He could take that Ronald Acuna step this year.
100%.
And that's what they need.
And I think he will, and I think they will. I think Jonathan India, you brought that up the way you did, perfect, because I liked India. The Reds have been just awful for so long, and they buried him in their lineup. They wanted to bring up other dudes, and he was a rookie of the year that got buried. Like I like this, and I think him with Bobby Witt as a corner or a middle infield combo. Yeah. Whew. And the other thing is
NEP is good.
Yeah,
too.
I was just gonna say
Salvi.
that too. Well, Freddie Furman. So they got Freddie Furman
Salvi
back and
Salvi at DH.
Yeah. But Salvi's still got it in him. Like Salvi's still a dog, dude. He's crazy. That dude is becoming a legend, and I think this year, if they make the playoffs, which I think they can, and I think they probably will, I think his legendary status is going to be up there with I'm brain farting on a name now. Who's the pitcher? The huge, big old fat pitcher that like the reliever that they're anyway. You know who I'm talking about, but he's a legendary status at this point. He's growing into legendary status, and I think if they make the playoff, if they make a decent playoff run, Salvi is gonna solidify a Hall of Fame career.
Oh, absolutely. What do they got at third base?
I was gonna tell you, but I already forgot. Miguel Garcia. Yeah.
He's a nice little speed guy.
Yeah. And I mean, growth. You know, there's growth there. That like he's not like he'll probably be better. Like he's more likely to be better this year than we've seen him be. You know, his stats should, you know, or at least level out. Like he'll be the same guy we've seen him be. Like I don't ever assume that anyone under the age of like 32 is just going to come in and be like tremendously worse than they were the year before, you know, like, or 3 years, you know, a 3-year span. Like you just,
I'm going to throw something at you right now. Trade deadline prediction for the Kansas City Royals, and just a fit that I'm just thinking about.
You're the trade guy.
Give them Nolan Arenado at the deadline.
Where is he now? Because he just moved, didn't he? Is he still in St. Louis?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, St. Louis is on my list of teams. We're going to get there, but they're definitely on my list of teams that will be selling, by the way.
And let's go over their rotation real quick.
Yes, you got it. Cole Reagans. Yeah. Yeah. Cole Reagans. Seth Lugo. Good. 13, 15 win pitcher. Easy. Yeah. Michael Wacha, like he's getting up there, right? So
yeah, but he still produces, man.
Michael Lorenzen, Chris Bubich, Alec Marsh, Kyle Wright, and Daniel Lynch the fourth. Nice lefty, 6'6", 200 pounds, born in 1996. He was a high draft pick. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I like this team. I do. And in that division, that's the other thing. Playing in the Central right now, I got them winning it. They're my pick to win the division. Because I got the Guardians dropping a little bit, which only puts them into second. And we'll get to the Twins.
The Tigers, man. The Tigers.
Now, or do you want to do Tigers?
Oh, next? Tigers.
Yeah. So, well, like the Tigers actually, so the Tigers surprised both of us showing up. I don't think it was just us. I think they surprised a shit ton of people showing up in the playoffs last year. And I think they got better.
They did. Because they traded Jack Flaherty for some assets and they re-signed him. They got Gleyber Torres. Mm-hmm. They got Alex Cobb, Tommy Canley, Jose Urquidy, and Andrew Chafin. So they got a lefty out of the pen. They got Brebbia too, who's a decent seventh inning guy.
So the Gleyber Torres thing. Mm-hmm. So you move Colt Keith over to first.
That's weird to me because he's not a power guy, and they still have Spencer Torkelson.
There you go. They still have Spencer Torkelson. So you're saying what? He's not going to develop. Like he's not your starting first baseman. So look, Colt Keith. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. I think he's gonna hit bombs.
Speaking of bombs,
yeah.
Their major problem is the worst free agent pickup of all time.
Okay.
At shortstop.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Baez.
What's his name? Javi Baez? Is his name Javi Baez?
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it. He's not even on their is he even on their? Yeah, he is on their roster. I thought he was done. Yeah. I thought they were cutting his ass after he got hurt. No. I thought you were going to do another third base question here because, and I was just going to say third base is definitely where a lot of teams, there just aren't.
Right?
They
could get Nolan too.
Who are the third basemen? But that's a problem. Nolan Arenado is an old man. How many great third basemen are there right now? And who are they?
Well, see, that's the thing is that's the move at the deadline this year. Mm-hmm. So Arenado, even though he's old, but you put him in the middle of a lineup on a young team like this, or Kansas City, yeah, and you show them how to win. I think that he's the guy that puts a lot of teams over the edge.
I'm gonna make a prediction for you just because you put me in this position. I think I think Javi is actually gonna have a comeback year this year. I think he could be comeback player of the year this year. I don't know, and I'm not. It's a prediction. That's all it is. I haven't seen anything that says he's working out or he's doing something great. I don't know, but what I saw from Javi is just made me so fucking sad that I have to believe that he's got some pride inside of him that after sitting at the end of last year, he's going to come back and play baseball again. I don't know.
Well, we already discussed Joey Gallo. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Riley Green is somebody that I absolutely
Superstar.
love. Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, I think Detroit. They're the other
outfielder.
They're the other team. You know, could they pass up the Guardians? Could they? Yes. Could they pass up the Guardians?
Yes.
So, I mean, if we had two playoff teams come out of the AL Central right now, we're both calling it what? The Tigers and the Royals. If two teams came out of the Central, it's going to be the Tigers and the Royals. So that, I mean, that's.
If they could do like somebody for third and maybe another outfielder, because I think they're a little weak. You got Asai, yeah. You have Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, who
they're young.
DH.
They're young,
right? Their bullpen's decent. Yeah, Veerling he's quick. Yeah,
I think they're going to be looking for bullpen help at the end of the year or at the deadline. They'll probably be looking for bullpen help. Their rotation's solid. I keep hoping Casey Mize is going to show up.
Number one pick, yeah.
Yeah, I keep rooting for that dude to show up. Don't know if he will.
You have to look at their development team now, because you have Spencer and Mize who were number one picks, and
you're already taking Spencer out on the depth chart. You know, that's right? That's for a dude who you drafted as a second baseman.
Why not put him in right?
Why bring in fucking Gleyber Torres unless you absolutely had already decided that Colt Keith was moving?
Yeah.
You know, I have to assume based on that move that they already thought, like they had already planned on moving Colt Keith to first, because you don't move Colt Keith after the fact and then have him start ahead of, and who knows, by the time they get to opening day, Torkelson might be their everyday first baseman. Like we're just, you know, but it's one of those kind of weird moves. I'll use that word weird again when we get to the Cubs and something they did this offseason, but it's a bit of a weird one to me. But I think they're a solid baseball team, and I'm definitely expecting them to be a 500 or above team. So.
Now, let's go to the disappointment that is the Minnesota Twins.
I don't know who they're disappointing. Nobody gives a shit.
But that's the problem. Nobody gives a shit.
They're one of those teams, man. They're one of those teams.
Playoff caliber team that just...
Yep.
They signed Harrison Bader, Ty France, and Danny Coulombe, who's hurt. They lost Carlos Santana, Max Kepler, Caleb Teobar, decent lefty, and Kyle Farmer. So they lost more than they gained, and what they gained is washed up guys
that they're probably not even going to be starting.
Right?
Like Harrison Bader probably isn't going to start anywhere on the field for them.
He's not going to start over Buxton.
No.
Unless Buxton's hurt, which he always is.
And that's the thing. Yeah, and that's one of the problems. They do still have Buxton. They still do have Carlos Correa. Royce Lewis
so mid too. Yeah. Royce Lewis got hurt today.
No shit.
Yeah, his leg.
Yeah. I mean, I got him at the bottom. They're not as bad as the White Sox, but they're not as good as the Guardians, and the Guardians aren't as good as the other two. So, There you go.
They are hinging a lot on their young rotation arms.
Everybody
Bailey
has to
Ober.
rebuild. They probably don't expect to win, to be a 500 team, but they probably don't also expect to lose 150 games or some shit, like 100 games.
That's like weird though. I mean,
they've been good for a really long time. Like they've won this division. The Royals have been in and out. The Guardians have been in and out, but Minnesota's been right there for a long time, and they
never over the top.
No.
And that's what's frustrating is they're there, but they just don't. Why sign Correa?
Sometimes you got to question the organization all the way to the top, right? I mean, that's all you can do. Minnesota's just Minnesota, dude. I mean, the Vikings have never won a Super Bowl. It's Minnesota.
All right, let's go to the trailer park in the south.
The trailer park, not quite, but yeah, south side of Chicago. I don't know anything about what they did in the offseason, so tell me all about it. Worst team in Major League Baseball ever. What did they do? Did they get worse in the offseason, Mike? Did they get worse in the offseason?
So they signed Michael A. Taylor, who was here last year and absolutely sucked. Bryce Wilson, who was here a couple years ago, absolutely sucked. Martin Perez, who was here last year, absolutely sucked. Austin Slater. Here's one that you might like. Mike Tauchman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Josh Rojas, Tyler Gilbert, and Matt Thaiss. That was their offseason. And they traded Garrett Crochet. But they have 7 or 8 top 100 prospects. So they know that they're not there. So they're just stopgapping.
And again, I think Minnesota's probably out, not quite there yet because they haven't hit bottom. They're on their way down. Chicago hit bottom. They hit bottom, and I don't know if their prospects will show up. I mean, look, you always want a really good prospect to be on a team where they can learn to play without having the pressure of, if they fuck up today, that the professional fans that exist are going to be like, fuck this guy, and then they're going to lose their confidence in the first slump they ever have, and then they either spend the rest of their career in AAA or AA or never fucking make it, and it happens, and Chicago seems to be that way. So right now, I don't care how many top prospects they have in the top 100, because until one of them actually shows up, like and I don't mean that as like mean. I mean that as someone whose father is like a diehard White Sox fan, like that's how he feels too. He doesn't care about them at all. Like, he's so over their bullshit. And then it's like, oh, they have this guy who's really good. He looks really, really good. He's young. Oh, okay. Like, show me, and to be fair, I know this is bleeding over a little bit, but it's also kind of like in the Chicago fan culture right now too, because like Bears fans have been dealing with a very similar thing. Like, oh, we just drafted the #1 overall quarterback, like, oh, great. We traded up to draft quarterback #2 overall. Awesome. Is it going to be good? No, so
it's a parallel with the organization that was there 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So they traded Chris Sale to Boston. They got Yohan Moncada, who is an untouchable prospect.
Yep.
They got Luis Robert in that trade, and they had Dylan Cease. They traded him, and they're just restarting again. So
yeah. What did I say about Dylan Cease this year too? I was like, I don't want anything to do with Dylan Cease. Like, he's got the White Sox stink on him.
Yeah.
I don't want, as a fan, I don't want him. Could he be good? Is he good? I don't fucking know. But he's got the White Sox stink on him, dude. And they have right now in their clubhouse, around that team, wherever it is, there's something that is so toxic that players are like gave up enough. Because here's what you got to remember. These are professionals. Like, this is their livelihood. Like,
They don't care.
Yeah. If you don't care enough to pull it together to not be the worst team in history, like, I'm sorry. You like, you're a group of dudes who either don't give a shit or are losers. Period. End of sentence. And I'm a loser, dude. I sit in a chair doing this. I understand that. But like, you're a competitive professional, and people associated with that organization don't have enough pride to be better than that. Like, I don't want them on my team, because what if they bring that shit into your locker room, man? Like, you could, that's when underperforming starts to happen, and discontent and all types of shit. And don't get me wrong, the White Sox are not the only organization that have a problem like this or with this. Like, but the White Sox this year in particular, and in the last 2 years, are definitely an organization that reek of very deep problems in the organization that go all the way up to the ownership. And we've discussed that in other episodes and everything else. Yeah. They're a shitty organization. And if I were a baseball player, I sure as shit wouldn't want to be there.
I mean, you look at Luis Robert, and that dude has every tool that he could.
Thought he was going to be Ken Griffey Jr. Dude, swear to God, right? I thought he was going to be Ken Griffey Jr. I went and scooped up hundreds of that dude's rookie cards. No joke. Like, I thought he was just going to be awesome. I was ready to become a White Sox fan.
He not does so much. He does it when they play the Cubs at Wrigley, though.
Yeah,
he looks like Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, AL West. Let's stay in the bottom and talk about the Angels.
Okay.
Talk about a franchise. They're willing to spend money.
The NLS.
And they just get dog shit every year.
Did you see the hats? Did you see the hats? Like the ones that they did with the big logos in the middle of the team thing, and like the Angels one says anal on it.
And the Texas one, one's going for it's going for $1,000 on eBay.
Yeah.
Wild. Yep. Go ahead, Fanatics.
Because I think Fanatics, like, didn't they have to stop? Like, I think they stopped those right away because people freaked out about it.
Probably.
Well, I don't know. I could be wrong, but
the hat's a different company.
Is it? Fanatics. Oh yeah. No. The caps are new
era. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but I don't know that those were. That's the thing. I don't know that those were new. I'll look it up. Because were they on field hats?
No, it was just a series.
Because like, if they were on field, then they would be the 5950s, which I can't imagine.
It's a 5950.
Oh my God, are they still for sale? Like, can you give me one?
Somebody's making them now. $189 you could get a T-Toss.
All right. Anyway,
the Angels.
Yeah,
they have Mike Trout, who never plays. They have Anthony Rendon, who is already out for the year. They signed Yusei Kikuchi, Jorge Soler. They traded for.
So Anthony Rendon is, to me, exactly who I would be if I would have like dedicated my life to getting to that level. Like, I'm not the dude who has to be the best all the time, blah blah blah. Like, you have seasons, you work hard, you get to where you are, you have seasons that are good enough. And when it comes to that free agency period, you work your ass off. You become the best you can be. You get to that free agency period. You take the longest deal for the most fucking money. And then you go, I'm done caring about baseball now. Like, I'm going to get fat. I'm not going to give a shit. And again, I'm not bagging on the dude. I'm saying a lack of motivation. Like, I always understand why certain percentage of professional athletes, once they get paid, like fall off. I mean, I get it. You worked for the payday. You want, like, your goal was the payday. That's what you wanted. You wanted the money. Do you love the sport? Yeah, but like, I love that now I don't have to, like, I have money. I don't need to work for it anymore. You gave me enough that I and if you're going to keep giving it to me, even if I don't fucking do anything good for this team, you're just going to keep paying me. Like, I just show up every day, you keep paying me, and I'll be a mid-level baseball player at best, but I'm going to make more money than 90% of the other players out here. Awesome. Let's go. Because, you know, some people have that mentality. I'm going to do the least I can do for the most amount of money. And guess what? That's pretty much exactly what that dude has done for the last, 5 years of baseball? Like, just the absolute bare minimum for the most amount of money possible.
The way that you put that describes their off season. They got Tim Anderson.
Yep.
Yohan Moncada.
Yep.
Kyle Hendricks.
Which that one hurts a little bit, but he's a dude. See, so this is an organization that will pay you to come here and not do shit. They just want.
He was 5-16 last year, right?
Yeah, he was. He
he got
done.
paid.
He was no. Hold on. Dude. Careful now. Kyle Hendricks started Game 7 of a World Series that ended 108 years of fucking Chicago, like, dread and sadness. Okay, but he should have retired. He got injured 2 seasons in a row. The staff worked with him. He got his 20 years in service this season, or 10 years with the team. Like, he got his whole button with his 10 years in the team and blah blah. Like, like the big deal. I wanted him to retire. He obviously wanted to keep going, and that's on him. Tip of the cap. Sad thing is, not everybody knows when to stop, dude. That's a thing.
The Angels paid him.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Right? Like, the Angels are
that.
They're that organization at this point. They will pay you to come there just because. And I don't. They don't care if they win or lose, dude. They don't give a fuck. And who does for them though? Like, that's the thing. People go to their games. Their fans don't care. And the people in LA, in greater LA area, or in greater Anaheim, because as we all know, the Angels are in Anaheim. Like, it's Disney, right? Like, it's a different atmosphere in that area, and people are going to go to those games, and people are going to cheer that team. And Mike Trout is the best player in baseball after Shohei Ohtani now. But, like, and obviously they're building up people to pass up Trout at this point. But Trout has been a generational talent who is a first ballot Hall of Famer. They've never made the playoffs with him.
Right.
Like,
just get rid of him.
Well, I don't know if that's the answer.
Why put him through that?
Well, obviously for Mike, he doesn't have a problem with it. Like, I think that needs to be recognized as well. I don't think Mike Trout has had a problem with it, because after 3 seasons, if he had a problem with it, then he should have been speaking up. And at least in the public eye, he's never ever said an ill word of LA or Anaheim, the Angels. He's so just, but that's Mike Trout, right? As a person. That's why he's not the most famous baseball player. He's the best. Like, there, you know, and at least maybe not anymore. Okay, I understand. Like, goddamn, dude, I hate watching legends age, dude. Let's
talk prediction.
Yeah, let's. Okay, they suck. They're not going to do anything. Bye.
Mike Trout at the deadline.
Yeah.
To the Philadelphia Phillies, who have a hole in center field. He goes home. There's the fit.
Goddamn. That Philadelphia team would be. Okay. They're terrible. Logan O'Hoppe. I hope he becomes a really good catcher.
Go over their rotation.
No, let's not. We're moving on. We spent too much time talking about them anyway, and they're really bad. The Athletics are probably worse.
No, they're not.
Houston. We're going to Houston next. All right.
Houston.
All right.
They signed Christian Walker after they got rid of Jose Abreu. They traded Kyle Tucker for Isaac Paredes. You're a big fan. They lost Bregman. They lost Kikuchi. They lost Verlander. They lost Ryan Presley. They signed Brendan Rodgers, top prospect who's never done anything, to a show me deal. Where are they? Right on top of the Angels?
Their rotation: Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Ronald Blanco, Spencer Arrighetti, Hayden Wisniewski, Luis Garcia, Lance McCullers Jr., Christian Javier, and JP France.
3 of those guys are hurt.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're not where they were. They're done.
Yeah.
Right? I mean they're done. Like it happens to their window closed and they're going to have to go through a rebuild a little bit. Their rotation is relatively young, as you said.
They lost their bullpen, back into their bullpen.
And I mean, it's okay.
Over.
Yeah, it's over. It's Jover. Oakland, right? That's where you want to go next.
Oakland.
Right.
They signed Severino.
Not bad.
They kept Lawrence Butler, signed him to a big deal. I mean, these other guys, they're nothing to talk about. So,
JP Sears, pretty good. Mason Miller could be really good.
Could be. Butler was great. Rooker was great.
Langoliers is a good catcher.
Very good.
Zach Giloff
JJ Bleday.
Yeah. Gio Urshela
Sucks.
Yeah, Miguel Andahar, JJ Bleday, as Lawrence Butler. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like Brent Rooker, they're still not. They're
better than the Astros.
Maybe. We'll see. I think that this division is a lot of
shit.
A lot of not good, and two really good fucking teams.
2? You think Seattle's good?
I do.
I don't.
Oh my God.
I don't buy.
I'm serious. Who are you not buying out of that fucking rotation? Who are you not? Brian Wu? Who's 22? No, he's 23. 25, I mean. Sorry, 25.
Yeah, I mean, they have Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Wu, Castillo. But then their offenses. They traded for Miles Mastrobuoni.
Good pickup. Miles Mastrobuoni, first home run ever hitting off Paul Skeens.
And this is true. You think they're really good?
I do. I think Julio is gonna he's gonna be an all-star this year. I think Julio is gonna be an all-star this year. I think Randy is still really good. I think people sleep on Randy a lot. I think Randy is a very good baseball player. JP Crawford is a good baseball player. I don't know.
Cal Raleigh's good.
Can hit bombs. Cal Raleigh can hit bombs. Right? And I mean, he's a good defensive catcher and he can hit bombs. Okay, so their infield, I'm a little like, it looks like they're going to have Jorge Polanco at third. Obviously, as you said, they did go get Miles Mastrobuoni. He wasn't an everyday third baseman. I don't expect him to be. Dylan Moore at second. Luke Raley at first.
Mid.
Like,
there's
none of that. Yeah, none of that is like super impressive, but look, seasons are long. You don't know what you're going to get out of everybody, and names are just names. Some people are going to overproduce, some people are going to underproduce. I think Seattle has a little bit of mojo, if we will. I think Seattle's got a little bit of mojo. I like their bullpen too, to be honest. And I do like their rotation. I do think they need something. I don't think they're going to be, again, I don't think they're going to compete. Like, I'm not saying they're going to go to the World Series or anything. I think
in
the next team we're going to
about
to talk about, like, but maybe
the Texas Rangers. It
Hell
is
yeah.
Texas. It is Texas and no one else in that division. As sad as it is, but you know what's going to happen? The fucking Astros are going to somehow miraculously slide in at the end, like they always.
There's no way. There's like that would be shocking. That would be shocking.
All right,
Kumar Rocker, baby. Kumar Rocker.
And Jack Leiter, the Vandy boys.
Dude, Jack Leiter. Oof. Wanted him.
So they Eovaldi, they got Jock. They traded for Jake Berger, who's going to be the sneakiest pickup of the year.
Agreed. I like
Higashioka, a catcher. Chris Martin, a
good catcher too. Kyle Higashioka, he's good. He's good.
Yeah. They got lefty Hobie Milner, Sean Armstrong, who's a really nice arm. They lost Nate Lowe.
That's okay.
They lost Leclerc. They lost Max Scherzer. They lost Heaney. They lost Chafin.
I don't think a single one of those hurt.
I don't know.
I personally.
Who do they got at first?
Let's take a look. Just so I can answer your questions. Jake Berger, as you just said.
He's not at third?
They have him at first.
Who do they have at third?
And by the way, Kyle is just, I mean, they still have Jonah Heim there. So, like...
Yeah, he's a backup.
Yeah, and I mean, they have Jock as backup at first. I don't know how much I like that. Marcus Semien is still a stud.
Seager.
Josh at third. Josh Young.
Oh, Josh Young, yeah. Then they have Wyatt and Evan in the outfield.
Corey Seager is, I mean...
Great. I love Seager.
One of the best swings in baseball, hands down.
Oh.
Leody Tavares is...
he's mid.
Adalis is awesome. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it's their division.
Look, their designated hitter lineup, as they have it on MLB.com for their rotation or for their depth chart. Jack Peterson, Jake Berger, Ezekiel Duran, and Wyatt Langford. Like, I would take any of those, and the fact that Wyatt Langford might even be up is awesome.
He was up last year, so he'll be up.
Okay. Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker, John Gray, Tyler Mahle, Jacob DeGrom. Remember when Jacob DeGrom used to scare the shit out of you if you were looking at a roster?
He's going to have a good year this year.
You think he's got anything left?
Yeah. Or he's Anthony Rendon.
No. I mean, it's just his arm. Like, he's got to be like Verlander. He's got to, like, change. Like, if he's gonna do anything, he's got to look different. He's not gonna come out and fucking throw 104 and dominate people. No way. There's just no way. It's gone. Right? Or if he does, he's only gonna pitch 3 games. And he'll be fucking back on the fucking bench with an ice pack, Corey Bradford to end that out. I like this team, as you said. It's their division. It's probably their conference. It'd be hard. Like, we could come up with a handful. Like I said, New York is probably going to be pretty fucking good. I think they're likely to go to the World Series. So that's probably what I'm picking from there. Yeah. Either Texas or New York. Those are pretty basic, easy picks.
It's sad.
It is.
Isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's sad because I don't like either of them particularly from a roster standpoint, right? Like even New York, like I'm looking at it and yeah, they're good, but it's like, man, like I wouldn't build a good, like it's just not, it just doesn't look like a team that I want to root for.
Right.
And that's
Right.
okay. I mean, it's just not what everything is supposed to be. And again, it's not just about the brand, you know, like I root for the C, right? The Cubs brand, but like I also, like I spend most of my time playing MLB The Show as a fucking roster manager, as a GM, as, you know, like I like to get down in there, and some of these guys just aren't guys that I would care for, especially on New York. But
Are you running the Titas?
the Titas? No, I am not running the Titas. All right. Are we good? Are we ready to go over to the NL? Are we finally ready to go into the NL? What are we at for runtime here, bro? We're
90 minutes.
Shit, 90 minutes. We got through the AL.
All right, the Braves. They got Urickson, Profar. Oh, John Gray fractured his wrist the other day, so he's out for a while.
Well, that was out of nowhere.
Speaking of hurt, the Braves got Jurickson Profar. He's hurt. They also got the stellar deadline acquisition of the Pirates, Brian De La Cruz.
Fantastic.
He was awful.
Difference maker.
Ronald is still hurt. Mm-hmm. Kelenic is going to be the right fielder. De La Cruz is going to play left. Money Mike Harris in center. Matt Olson at first. Albies at second. Who do they got at short? It ain't Dansby Swanson. Mm-mm. Is it still Arcia?
Yeah, that's what they got, Arcia.
And then they have Riley at third. Who do they have catching now?
Sean Murphy.
That's right. He's hurt too, isn't he?
They're okay. They're probably pretty good. They're gonna be a good team. I guarantee you that Atlanta fans probably are gonna enjoy watching them this season, but they're not gonna.
Well, they'll get Strider back next month. They'll get Spencer Schwallenbach, who's a stud.
This division is going to be a powerhouse. Like, yeah,
it's the best division in baseball, I think.
Well, it's definitely going to be the most interesting to watch. Like,
yeah,
it's like I keep saying, in my opinion, this is my opinion. It's my show, motherfucker. God damn. No, yeah, there isn't. Oh, Washington. They're in a rebuild a bit.
Marlins.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know though. Really? Like, are they bad?
Braves.
Are they bad? Are the Marlins bad?
Yeah, they get rid of Berger. They got rid of Luzardo.
But they got Matt Mervis, bro. They got Matt Mervis. What you say about that? They got Connor Norby. I want Connor Norby. Yeah, I want Connor Norby. You know, I bet the Brewers would love to have Xavier Edwards playing shortstop for him because, you know,
I bet the Braves would too.
I'm just saying, like the Marlins, look, they're not a $1 billion fucking roster, but I think they could be fun to watch. I really do. They're young as shit, bro.
You won't be able to watch them on ESPN because that'll be the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers.
Oh.
All right. The Marlins, they got Matt Mervis. They got Eric Wagaman and Cal Quantrill.
Yeah.
They lost Berger and Luzardo. So
Luzardo was okay to lose.
They got really young prospects too. Like, low A ball guys.
And Berger's interesting, but like Cal Quantrill's a nice, like for what their rotation is, Cal Quantrill is a left-handed addition that they needed. There's really nothing. I mean, I don't know, man.
This season for them is about what they get in return for Sandy Alcantara, because that's all that matters.
You really? So that's how you're going, huh? I'm not going to disagree with you. Here's what I'm going to say. I think you're probably right. because that's how the Marlins operate as an organization, right? Like, just like, you know, in a couple of years when we're doing this show, I'm going to be saying this season for the Pittsburgh Pirates is all about what they can get for Paul Skeens. Like,
and Jared Jones.
It's just how it goes for certain organizations. So you're absolutely right. Okay. Sadly, I think they could be a fringe wild card team and have to do that, which sucks. But I think that they will be, because youth, you know how youth is, especially who's managing them? Who is managing Miami now? Clayton McCullough?
Who?
Clayton McCullough.
Was he our guest last year on the MAZ and SACK cast? So here's what they're realistically. They trade Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
They hope that Eddie Cabrera, Max Meyer, and Braxton Garrett don't get hurt. Yuri Perez is already out for the year.
Is he out for the whole year?
Yeah.
Okay, I see he's on the IL, but I didn't know he was out for the whole year.
You hope Norby takes a step forward.
Yeah.
You hope Edwards takes a step forward, and
you hope the Cubs call to trade for Norby.
I mean, the rest is house money. That's it.
Yeah, and that's how Miami operates. It's how they operate, and I think at some point I do expect Jeter to switch that up, though. I do. Okay. I do expect once they feel like they have a core that they're going to be able to work with, and the first thing you'll see them do is go get a manager that isn't a transition manager, that is like hey, step on the gas kind of manager. And yeah, I fully expect them to compete at some point, and I also don't think at some point that it's all about them not being able to keep players either. This is one of those teams that I would love to see get in the market of like pushing a little bit harder. Problem is they don't do well for attendance and shit. They don't.
Yeah, there's so much going on there.
Yeah, they don't make money.
So making money and spending money. New York Mets.
Yeah, going from a team who doesn't make money and doesn't spend money to the team that spent the most money the Dodgers probably still spent more, did they?
Yeah. So you got Juan Soto to a 15-year deal.
Best fucking deal ever, by the way. Juan Soto's deal is the best deal ever for him. Yeah, I cannot believe that after the deal that Shohei signed, that Juan Soto turns around and signs this deal that is just so player friendly. Like, he's gonna get paid again. I hope everybody understands that. Like, this is not Juan Soto's last deal. Like, he's going to get paid again.
And the thing that with this deal is Kyle Tucker and Vladdy should thank Juan Soto for every dollar that they make.
Kyle Tucker especially. Like, right. I hope that the Cubs are willing to renew, to get that for him, by the way, hopefully before the season starts this week, but whatever.
Well, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
They play Tuesday. Yeah.
They play in Japan. Yeah, good on him. Yeah, it's a great deal. Right. I couldn't be happier for the dude. And it got him out of. Go ahead. Go. No.
I was going to continue with their spending.
Mm-hmm.
They re-signed Big Meat Pete Alonso for 2 years. They signed Clay Holmes for 3 years at starter money.
The Pete Alonso signing was big
for them
because it keeps him from hitting free agency. That's awesome. No. That's real good for them.
Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, Frankie Montas is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Minter is a stealth signing. Jesse Winker, they traded for Jose Siri, who's going to be their defensive replacement guy. They re-signed Stanek. And the trade for Griffin Canning, I really like. I like Griffin Canning.
The Angels.
Yeah,
What can you say about the Angels, right? And
that's the Angels.
That was a dude that I got into his rookie season. I was like, let's see, like I would trade for him. You know, he's a guy like a lot of like it comes from guys that you want to see develop because you've watched them develop over the years in your games because we're nerds and we play baseball games. But like, yeah, Griffin Canning is definitely one of them for me where it was like, dude, I like get him out of Anaheim. Let's see him go somewhere where he has competent coaching and he can learn and he can improve and get into some pressured situations, see what he has. I'm excited for him on this roster, honestly.
Right. And he's a guy that you could slot in as a 2 through a 5.
100%. This team is going to be good. And before you say it, yes, third base. What are you going to do? Brett Beatty. I hope Brett Beatty is starting there by the end of the year. He probably won't be to begin the year, right? I would assume they probably have a control situation there. Well, he'll be.
He was up last year though.
Was he up late? Was he up late last year, or was he up all last year? I don't remember.
Half of it.
Okay,
he came up early, sucked, went down, came back.
Their outfield has so much depth that I have to assume they're going to be getting rid of some people at some point.
Starling Marte, probably.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, I think, there too.
Yeah.
They've got Winker as their DH with Marte behind him. Dude,
yeah.
This team is interesting on paper. They probably look very dangerous and very hot. This is a team that when I look at talking about the opposite of the Rangers and the Yankees, I'm like, dude, I want to root for this team. Like, I kind of wish this was my team. Like, I kind of wish this was my team right now, to be honest, because they look fun. They look like a lot of fun.
I think that their major problem is they don't have the ace guy. They have a bunch of like number 2 and 3 guys.
How long has Senga been throwing?
He's always hurt though. Senga and Manaya they're there.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, right? I mean, Frankie Montas, kind of that guy. Griffin Canning even has up until this point. Paul, like, yeah, okay, I hear you. I don't look at any of these guys and call them fucking aces right off the bat, right. but it's hard to get an ace. I like.
Yeah. They got a great bullpen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're gonna be good.
Good catcher. Like, they're set up.
Yeah, they are.
To a team that's not set up, the Washington Nationals.
The other bad team in the division, because since we decided, I still don't think Miami's bad. I just don't think that they're not like really good.
This team is actually set up for the future.
Mm-hmm.
You have Dylan Cruz, you have James Wood. Nate Lowe at first base is a nice little signing. You got Josh Bell at DH. Then they signed like those fringe guys, Paul DeYoung, Ahmed Rosario, that can start, probably give you something at the deadline.
Yeah, I mean they're there to get games. Yeah. Like those are vets that are making what they make to come in, and they're probably going to hit under average, and they're
show the young guys how to be pros.
Yeah, I mean this team is probably what 10 games, 15 games under 500 this year, most likely.
Yeah, I mean you might catch lightning in a bottle with Cruz and Wood. Like
not if like Mackenzie Gore doesn't suddenly become a starting pitcher, you know, like I think we were talking about that earlier. There you go.
That's a guy right there.
Yeah, another one. But he's hurt.
Of course he is. He's always hurt.
Yeah, I don't. Trevor Williams, like Michael Soroka, Jake Irvin. Like it's mid. You know, like right. it's a bunch of dudes 3 to 5, and then I mean they're like, but like you said, they're not built to win right now. They have a serviceable roster. and they have a lot of guys that they're building on. Not to mention they have the number 1 pick in the draft, don't they? I believe
they're up there in top 3. I think. I don't know. They might be.
I believe they do. I'm not sure. The only thing I remember from watching the draft lottery, dude, sad as this is to say, is that St. Louis somehow had the highest pick in the fucking division.
Of course they do.
Like, so dumb. Okay. Now
they got a bunch. I was going to say they got a bunch of those one year guys that they can trade at the deadline. See if you get something for.
Yeah. And they probably will too, if they have guys that they want to get reps. Like some positions, they're not going to have guys that they're even ready to get reps, and they're just going to let them. They wouldn't get anything for them anyway. They're trading dead money. Hopefully, they have a few guys that are good enough that, like you're talking about the rotation in the bullpen too. You know, like hopefully you have a few guys that you get some big teams that are making hardcore playoff pushes that are just like, hey, like our double-A team is doing okay right now. Here you go.
Right.
You know,
Trevor Williams could be like the guy like the Yankees look at. You know,
100%. And they might
everybody's
need it
hurt. Right. Yeah. All right. The Phillies. They got Jesus Luzardo, which we mentioned. They traded for low level guys. Max Kepler might be a really sneaky signing, especially in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too.
Jordan Romano, we've seen him blow so many saves in the playoffs for Toronto. I don't like that. They lost Hoffman and Estevez, but they already have a team, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Their window is now. They're one of the Phillies. They need to win like now.
Yeah.
Just going through their roster, that's my 100% first reaction is this is a window that is closing quickly. Like Castellanos, Brandon Marsh, Rojas is kind of young, you know. Yeah, Schwarber is getting up there now. Like Kepler, like is a great move. I agree. But you know, it's just that Trey Turner. How many years does Trey Turner have left as a top tier, you know, shortstop?
This is trade for Mike Trout at the deadline and go for it, and then
you know,
over.
I gotta be real with you. Now that I'm looking it over, I mean, it makes a ton more sense. Like if there were a team that it would make sense for, this is definitely the team.
Their pitchers are getting old.
Can Bryson Stott be any good? Can Edmundo Sosa? Can these guys that they need to step up and fill in the holes? Are they going to be able to be any good? If Bryce gets hurt, you know, Bohm showed up last year,
and then failed.
Finally, yeah, and that sucks. But what will he do about it this year? So Bohm is one of those dudes that we've been wanting to show up for I don't even know how long. I think we had both been convinced last year, if we go back and watch, that he may never show up. Right. And then he came out and had a good year. So we'll see who shows up this year. But good God, dude.
Look at their rotation. They have a lot of
bullpen, dude.
It's nice.
Whew. Yeah.
Look at their young starters. They got Painter, they got Mick Abel, but you also
Ranger
have Nola.
Suarez, dude.
They're in go for it now. And Alec Bohm is in I need this year to be great. I could be a superstar.
Yep.
Or it's over.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what this team is. And if there's a team that the Dodgers need to be scared of, it probably should be Philadelphia, honestly, truthfully, because if they make any good moves and it works out, like, yeah, this is a team because nobody on this roster is saying, man, if we don't do it this year, we'll be back next year. We'll be back better next year. No, I don't. That's maybe next year.
If they win the division and host the playoff series, it's
Philly
night and day difference. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Philly is insane, dude.
So.
Okay. Realistically, the Mets are probably going to be competition to win the division. I don't know if Atlanta is or not. Is Acuna going to play at all this year?
Yeah.
From what we've heard, like, is he
All-Star break probably?
Okay. So second half.
Strider should be back in May. So you have.
I didn't believe in that guy. I don't believe in Spencer Strider. I thought that shit was a fluke anyway. I'll be honest. Just
you got the Mets, and then you have the Braves and Phillies, and then you have the other two. It's
but the Phillies need it. Like, that's like, they have to come out and win games. Like, so I have a feeling they're going to, and who knows? It might be one of those things where it's like a post All-Star break. They fall off. Post All-Star break, they get hot. It's all a toss-up, but I don't know if I can put them in to win the division, and I still think they have to win. So good luck, Philadelphia.
All right, we start the NL Central with a team exactly like the Philadelphia Phillies. Your hometown Brew Crew.
My hometown. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. So many things I want to say,
but seriously, like, structure-wise, Yelich is right there at this is it. I get hurt every year. They just lost
the thing about the Brewers. I think the Brewers are on a path to become the Pirates or the Reds. Like, I don't think they have a chance to win this year, and I think they're just going to keep shifting dudes off, and they're gonna win. They're gonna play because they sell. Like, they're very popular in the market, and people do like going to the games. They do. The stadium does very well, but
my favorite stadium.
They've gotten worse every year. For like the last 3 or 4 years. The only thing that's keeping them in the division at the top is that the Cubs have really struggled to get back to form. The Cardinals have aged into oblivion and now are completely trying to, start over with toddlers. And the Pirates are the Pirates and blah, blah, blah. Like, the Reds are the Reds, the Pirates are the Pirates. The Brewers are on the same path. They're done. Their playoff days for a little bit are done until they do what they always do, which is get good young talent and ride it, a little bit too far. They had some young guys step up last year, man. That's the thing. I thought they were going to be way worse last year than they were, but Bryce Terang turned into like a good player.
Garrett Mitchell.
Garrett Sal Mitchell. Frelick. Yeah, Sal Frelick. Like, it just that Jackson Chourio came in. Like,
yeah,
they're a bit overachieving and just
Colin Ray good. Had a really good year.
Yeah, but again, Freddie Peralta is probably going to be gone by the break. Like, Freddie Peralta has to be gone by the break.
Woodruff,
I would assume so. Nestor maybe is what's he looking at contract wise? Nestor, I'm not familiar with his contract.
2 years, I think.
Okay.
Quintana's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, they've got. I mean, look at look at that. Like, Freddie Peralta, Nestor Cortez, Tobias Myers, Aaron Savali, another guy. Do you like him? Do you not? I don't know. Yeah. Aaron Ashby. Is he good?
He's never been good. No, never.
So,
no. That one kid that came up in the middle of the year, they had Gasser. Was he one of them? And then they had that other kid.
Robert Gasser. He's actually on the DL.
Good.
Yeah,
But
I don't
they're-
know. I don't think the Brewers are anywhere near it anymore. I think their window closed 2 years ago. I think they got an extra playoff berth because
Adames had a monster year.
and we couldn't hold it together, to be fair. Like Willie did, and he's good. He's not there anymore, is he? I don't think he's there anymore.
Giants. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the Cardinals. Their big acquisition was Phil Maton, who blew every game in the playoffs for the Mets. They lost Kittredge and Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
They lost Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn, and Matt Carpenter.
Oh.
So they have
To the retirement home.
Yeah, like they have Arenado.
Uh-huh.
They don't have DeYoung. They don't have Goldschmidt. What do they have?
They don't have a catcher. Right.
Wilson.
I mean, they've got
Wilson,
got a couple young guys that maybe they believe in that I don't know.
Is Wilson playing first?
Wilson is playing. Wilson is slated. He was slated in at first the other day when I looked. He's not anymore. He's third catcher. He'll probably play first. Again, like some of this shit you're not going to see the way it is, and it doesn't matter. But their rotation is trash. Their bullpen is
Alec Burleson,
Burleson.
Brendan Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the Cardinals.
Yeah, like
Mason Wynn's good.
Like Nolan Gorman, again, they have some young talent because they
develop.
Yeah, and they're gonna continue to develop, and that's why they're always scary. Is for some reason, but for a while it was that their old pitching still managed to show up, and it's not the case anymore. Their old pitching is gone, and yeah, I mean, so what do you do? I Mason Wynn is legit, like could be legit, right? And Nolan Gorman, but you're not building around them yet when you still have Nolan there at least. So yeah, your deal that you were mentioning earlier, like maybe St. Louis being a team that is looking to shop a third baseman. And there have been plenty of teams that are going to be playoff teams that'll definitely be able to use a third baseman. And he's a platinum glove third baseman. So, yeah.
What's
Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty, Miles Michaelis, who I absolutely despise, Andre Palente, Steven Matz, Michael McGreevy, and Drew Rom.
Bullpen. Who's the closer?
Ryan Helsley. Yeah.
So this is their year. They're similarly built to the Marlins. What they get for Helsley and Arenado is that this season. And Fetty will probably go too.
You think so? I wondered about that. I don't know why they wouldn't move Miles at this point, but that's just my take.
Doesn't he just scream Padre?
Yeah, kind of does actually. God damn. Yeah. Yeah, with the humidity too, because his movement
stash.
Dude, his movement, but legitimately, like the being on the coast like that and having the air be that little bit heavier, like the movement that he takes, that he brings. Yeah, he'd probably be a tick better. And he's a good pitcher. Like, don't get me wrong. I just talk shit about
he's
Cardinals,
just shitty. Like he doesn't overpower you.
No,
he's just there.
Yeah, he's that.
But he always wins.
No, the dude that he is like he's the guy that like the King Arthur sword and the stone type thing, where like he could go out to next to a bar, like he'd go out to a baseball diamond next to a bar and just hustle drunk dudes who think they can hit him all day, because they'd see him pitch and they'd be like I could hit that shit, and then they'd be swinging at it because it wouldn't be that he was throwing it past them, but they'd just not be able to ever hit it, because he's good. But yeah, he's a junker. Right,
a junk baller.
Yep.
All right.
And San Diego, I mean, look, Yu Darvish has done fantastically down there, and that's exactly what he is. He throws everything.
Michael King, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
This is such a good rotation. No, really. Like, I want to believe that this rotation is good. Like, I do, but I'm a homer, so I'm gonna try my best here, and I'm not getting any feedback. Look, Shota, second year, right? Second year. So this is the year you'll figure out what you actually have, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. He pitched great last
opening
year.
day. Oh
yeah, might be Steele. I haven't heard actually.
No, it's Shota versus Yamamoto.
Okay, good. Well, it's in Japan, so yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good pitcher. I think he's probably in the top 10 pitchers in the National League. Might be stretching it a little bit. It's just my opinion. Justin Steele is like a tick below that, and a lot of people think he's the better pitcher on the roster. So, but I mean, I'm good with our top two. Yeah,
I'm going to give you the difference this year. Yeah. He's not going against the ace. Shota is. He's going to be better as a 2.
True. Yeah, that's fair, right? JMO, like,
I love him.
We've all been waiting for JMO to come around, and he's got to stay healthy. Matthew Boyd, I don't know enough about, and we already have 2 lefties at the top of the rotation, so I wouldn't assume he's going to feature. Colin Ray, he's huge. He's just a big fucker. Ben Brown, I'm really hoping is dude. He looks legit. Javier Assad looks like he could be good. Maybe not like Hall of Fame level good, but good. And Jordan Wicks is pretty fucking good. Okay. See, and I accept that. I said it out there. I didn't say it with a lot of confidence, and you shit on it immediately. So I accept it. Jordan Wicks sucks. Get him off my team.
Cade Horton.
Maybe.
He's good, dude. I'm telling you.
It's look, they drug their
He's
feet
coming off of Tommy John.
I thought PCA was going to come up a year and a half, 2 years before he did. So, and I mean, he's still up super young, right? But
yeah.
Okay, so Ryan Presley, closer.
You needed it.
He's almost as old as me, dude. Like,
you needed it.
I know, but he's almost as old as me.
Eli Morgan's a nice piece.
Porter Hodge, Nate Pearson. Yeah, you're Pearson right about that. Great. Julian Mayweather, King Thompson, Tyson Miller. Okay, so here's where we get to my thing. Miguel Amaya, I have loved through the system. I've watched, he's somebody I've actually paid attention to through the fucking farm system. And when he came up last year, he disappointed the absolute shit out of me, dude. His at-bats were terrible. His defense was really, really bad, and he couldn't throw anybody out. So I was like, who is this guy? Like, this isn't... I thought Miguel Amaya was going to be the starting catcher for the Cubs for the next 10 years. You know, like, we were going to get Wilson 2.0. Mm-hmm. Hasn't worked out. Obviously, he's getting another chance this year, and they have Carson Kelly behind him, so they're not putting any pressure on him. You know, they're going to let him play. I hope he shows up. But I'm not... Like, in my opinion, the Cubs may have the worst starting catcher, like, day one in Major League Baseball, just because from what I've seen of him, he's not a Major League catcher. But hopefully he'll think. Michael Busch, second year. They signed Justin Turner, so he's, whatever. Nico Horner.
I'm on this train.
Quite possibly the best player in all of Major League Baseball. Looking for him to be 30, 30, and 30 this year. He's just going to win the Triple Crown, MVP. Yeah, I got that. But that's how unrealistically I love Nico Horner. Mm-hmm. I love Nico Horner. Matt Shaw, rookie, third base. They just signed Justin Turner. Like, what are we doing? Turner
is there. He can back up Shaw and he can back up Bush. He can play both spots.
Yeah, and he's a veteran presence for the two of them. I understand. It's just
I like it.
We are going. The Cubs are going to the season with a second year first baseman and a rookie third baseman. So, like, how do you even project that, right? Like, as a fan, like, I don't want to say, oh man, they're going to win the division. When I look at the division, it's a winnable division. It is a winnable division, and their outfield of Ian Happ, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki as the DH playing right field as well. Like, I'm like, that rotation coming along, bullpen getting better.
Who's making the team? Vidal Brujan or John Birdie?
Oh, fuck.
Birdie?
I would take Birdie. Dude, I don't like that question. I would take, if I had to choose between one or the other, I'm probably taking Birdie. Although with Justin being signed, maybe not. Maybe now
Birdie can play outfield. Both of them can.
Well, yeah, Vidal. Look, he could be like there's the potential that dude's like exciting, right? Like, woo. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But again, winnable division. I have everybody else falling out other than Pittsburgh. We're about to cover this.
Yep.
It's a winnable division.
I'm going to tell you.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
You're up.
Are we going to Pittsburgh?
Yep. Let's go to Pittsburgh.
All right. We have a Cy Young ace.
Yes, you do.
We have going into the off season.
Paul Skeens, by the way, for people actually listening, since we're not just having a private conversation with each other.
Well, at the end of this, we probably will be. So you have a guy that's going to go out and he can beat any starter in Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You re-sign Kutch. Yay. Mm-hmm. You sign Tommy fucking Pham.
I like Tommy Pham.
You trade for Spencer Horwitz, who's hurt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Andrew Heaney's a nice little number 5 guy that you can sign. You could swing him into the pen if you need a lefty. Fucking Adam Frazier. Get the fuck out of here.
IKF.
Fergus. Yeah. Do you know what IKF did today? He went up against the fucking AA Yankee and watched 3 straight pitches go right down the middle with the bases loaded.
No.
Yeah. We lost Yasmani Grandal, who you're like, Yasmani Grandal, but he was Paul Skeens' personal catcher.
Yeah.
So
that's a problem.
Joey Bart is going to be the catcher. Andy Rodriguez is healthy again. He can play second, first, catch, play right field. Paul Skeens, probably Keller at 2, Jones at 3. I don't know what else is 4 at 5. That's scary. They don't. If they would spend money, they could be right in it, but they're not.
Well, wait. Say your top 3 again in that rotation.
Skeens, Keller, Jared Jones.
Okay. Well,
who's at 4?
Heaney,
and then Bailey Falter at 5.
Mm-hmm.
2 lefties.
I mean, Heaney's probably your 4 no matter what. Like, we'll just assume.
You could put Heaney at 3 and put that way you have Skeens, Keller, who throws a different style than Skeens. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go back to back with those type of guys.
My question is, who's playing left field?
Ryan Reynolds.
Then who's playing right field?
Well, that'll be Jack Sawinski. That'll be Tommy Pham. Sawinski's been great.
That's what I don't.
Who's playing
Jack
third? Who's playing third? Because Key Ryan Hayes is hurt. He's hurt.
For the whole season, he's out.
No, it doesn't matter. You got in center, you have O'Neal Cruz, who's going to be a 30-30 guy this year. This is his
How many more years does he have left with
3
Pittsburgh?
probably 2 maybe. They like to trade the second year, say it's 2 years. If they would spend money, they would be right in it with the Cubs because of Skeens and Jones.
But they're not. Dude, O'Neal is going to go to Toronto, or
I could see that. I could see him in Seattle.
New York Mets. Fucking
Seattle.
O'Neal Cruz, New York Mets. Oh, no, Julio Rodriguez, bro. If he's going to stay in center field, which O'Neal Cruz came in as a shortstop. Yeah, he was a shortstop, right? Yeah. For a minute, I doubted myself, thought he played second base. But, okay, 1 through 5, where do you have these guys finishing?
They are probably 4th.
How many wins does Skeens get?
Skeens, 16.
16?
Yeah. 16-5, something like that. Probably trade Mitch Keller at the deadline.
So I assume that, okay, I'm not even going to ask a question. I've been sitting here thinking about it. There was some dead silence there because I was going to ask a question, but honestly, as a fellow fan, I just can't even ask the question because it would be like giving bad juju to the whole thing. And I hope you have a whole season to enjoy what is a great pitcher who hopefully will never need any of the surgeries that most other pitchers need. So
his is going to be the labrum too, and he's going to go from 102 to 90.
It just sucks because, like, with certain, like, you just know it's coming, you know. But I hope he has, like, I want to watch him. I'm gonna watch him pitch. Like, I'm gonna when
he's electric.
When it's his day to pitch, I'm gonna pull up the Pittsburgh games and I want to watch him pitch. Like, that's
so. The other problem the Pirates have is David Bednar sucks.
Okay.
And he's the closer, so that's why they're going to be in 4th.
Fair enough.
It's very frustrating.
They don't really have any parts to move by the end of the year, though, do they? Right? Is Ke'Bryan ready to go? Like, is he?
He's been ready to go for 3 years. That's why he keeps getting hurt. He don't want to be here.
Fair enough.
Mitch could probably go because they have Bubba Chandler. Bubba Chandler texted Skeens. Said, congratulations that you're the opening day starter. Next year, you'll be the number 2.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
Wow. Yikes. Okay, so you've got him 4th. I'm assuming this team is who you're going to pick to win the division.
No, 2nd place.
Oh.
But they get into wild card.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Tito Francona.
Okay.
He's going to change them. They re-signed Nick Martinez. We already talked about the Brady Singer trade.
Yep.
Sneaky pickup to fill in India, Gavin Lux.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like Gavin Lux a lot. Wisconsin boy.
That's why he's weird. It makes sense.
A little bit.
Taylor Rogers is a decent little trade for the Pen.
Also, just to finish up, he never really got a fair shake in LA either. So I think there's some talent there that we haven't seen yet in a consistent role. So
they got Wade Miley, Austin Hayes. They got Jose Trevino, probably be their backup catcher for Stevenson. Scott Barlow in the Pen. This is the team that goes and gets Luis Robert at the deadline.
Ooh. Hold up. Oh my. I mean, that is like
perfect.
I mean, I'm not saying TJ Friedel isn't good, right? But like that fills a hole, and like with that lineup, like I can see him in that lineup and he looks perfect. Dude, well done. I like that. You just impressed my pants off, bro. Although my pants are off anyway, I got a new tattoo on my thigh, and it. Anyway, I didn't really think much about this before. I told you I wasn't going to do a bunch of research before because I didn't want to come off too educated and professional, because that just isn't what this is. I hate that I'm looking at this team kind of like for the first time right now. They're a fun team. If they were not in the NL Central, I would be rooting for this team. I got to be honest with you.
And
like
Francona's he's going to get the most out of these guys.
Dude, I mean, and you add, like, I want to add him right now, like, get that done just so I can add him in here. And you got Jake Freely, TJ Friedel, as we discussed, Will Benson, like, Austin Hayes, though, man, I'm a fan of, and Jake Fraley out there. Ellie De La Cruz, like, that guy, I want him on my team. Do you think that so as a Pittsburgh fan, when you look at Ellie De La Cruz, do you say, ha, because you know that it's a similar situation where eventually he's not going to be there? But, like, they've had talent stay for, technically you guys have had Kutch there forever, haven't you?
Well, we traded him.
I know, but he came back.
They had Votto forever.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at, was the Reds had Votto, and then I was like, well, you guys had Kutch, and I know you traded him. But you traded him like kind of at the end. You didn't. Like,
when he was washed.
Yeah.
But this is a year Christian Encarnacion Strand needs to step up. Mm-hmm. Spencer Steer is already hurt. Matt McLean needs to have a big year.
They pulled him out of the outfield, Spencer Steer. Like, they have him listed as third base. I thought McLean would be there.
No,
they have Candelario at first. And then Gavin Lux at second with McLean behind him. Yeah.
So they don't have Noel V. Marte and they don't have Encarnacion.
Nope. Encarnacion Strand is the DH. They have him as their DH.
So Noel V. Marte will be going to the White Sox in the Luis Robert deal. And
you've already worked this all out, huh?
It's flowing.
I like Spencer Steer.
They're pitching. They have Hunter Green. They have Chase Burns coming. They have Rhett Lauder coming. Like, they're a wagon.
Lodolo. Like,
Nick Lodolo's a stud.
Lodolo's good. Nick Martinez
had a good year.
I'm not a big Wade Miley fan. He's old.
He's there to innings.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
He's the Aaron Savali / Zach
Ashcraft, dude. You're right about Lauder. He's coming. But their bullpen is old. Most bullpens are. Can't really say anything about that. But when you get later in the season, if you don't have some like young, like electric arms in that bullpen, something to.
They dropped the ball when they traded Fernando Cruz.
I don't think they're built for the playoffs. I think they're going to have a decent. They're going to have a decent regular season, but I don't think they're built to make a playoff run.
Tito is going to outmanage anybody that he goes against, though.
But the problem is he's not going to have a GM that can like really make things happen for him, and that's why even with it said, from a fantasy standpoint or a fan standpoint, or like what I'm gonna do when I get off here and go to the show kind of thing, putting Robert in that lineup, like, it kills. It's perfect. It looks amazing. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. Do it. Why isn't it done? But it's Cincinnati. Like, are they gonna buy? I don't know. Look, the way I see it, I think Cincinnati and Milwaukee have kind of flipped their positions, right? I think Milwaukee is probably, as you said, like with you're predicting Cincinnati to be in second, which is where Milwaukee has been the last couple of years, or in first, with the Cubs being kind of iffy. I think they flopped. I think the Reds are the second best, or potentially the best team in the division. right now because I just don't know. The Cubs on paper are probably better. Yeah,
because of Kyle Tucker.
I mean, dude, the Cubs look better on paper this year than they did last year, and yes, it's because of Kyle Tucker, but it's also because they didn't lose anything of consequence. Oh, Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger had a shit year last year. Anyway, Kyle Tucker's better than Cody Bellinger, so
yeah,
they have to renew him. They have to renew him, though. You know, they have to renew him. They have to get him signed. Otherwise, it was the stupidest fucking waste of time bullshit. And
Cam I will be Smith is tearing it up in Houston.
Of course. Anyway. Yeah. All right, man. Last one. Home stretch here.
All right. Arizona Diamondbacks. They got the ace. They got Corbin Burns to go with Zach Gallen, to go with Merrill Kelly, to go with Eduardo Rodriguez, to go with Brandon Pfaadt.
Yep. And Jordan Montgomery is down there too.
Yeah, you don't know. I like him. Josh Naylor replaces Christian Walker. You still have Cattell. You still have Perdomo. You have Eugenio Suarez at third.
Dude, you just ran over the bullpen too. The bullpen is insane.
Justin Martinez is a stud. Ryan Nelson. They lost Jock. Jock's going to hurt them.
Do you think so? I mean, he wasn't a good fielder, and I mean, yeah, but how many home runs? I don't know how many home runs he hit last year. Right
all
now,
they've got the Pirates.
They've got Pavin Smith and Randall Grichuk down there. Yeah, I mean, neither one of those guys are going to hit Jack Peterson numbers. I wouldn't think. But yeah, dude, Corbin Carroll needs a bounce back from his sophomore slump, though.
He will.
Like that. Well, you can't assume he needs it. It was a pretty bad sophomore slump. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I'm a fan of.
I think he's overrated.
Do you?
Yeah. He's a mid guy.
This team,
they're fun.
They have a good lineup. They have a really good lineup. And
they're
then you
fun,
get
man.
We covered their rotation, which is insane. But you get into that bullpen, and you got Kevin Ginkel, Joe Mandipli, AJ Puck, Ryan Thompson, Justin Martinez, as you said, Kendall Graveman. Come on now, Jordan Montgomery. He was pretty good for the Cubs. Seen him. Ryan Nelson. Like, dude, this team might be tough, but who's in their fucking division? We talk about what division did we say? We said the East was going to be good. Holy shit!
There's two. There's three good teams, I guess. All right,
here
in this one, yeah,
potentially.
I don't think the Giants. You
don't see. We're going to disagree.
All right, the Dodgers.
These guys are good though.
They signed Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki. They re-signed Teoscar, who is the key to that. They got Tanner Scott in the pen. They got Kershaw back. They got Kirby Yates. They signed Michael Conforto. They kept Blake Trinan and your boy, Kike Hernandez. Giovanni Gallegos, he's washed.
Yeah.
They lost Beeler. They lost Lux. They lost Flaherty.
I think Bueller's going to hurt him.
He didn't play though last year. Not until he didn't start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Michael Kopech was a great. Like you got Kopech. You just talked about Arizona's bullpen.
Yeah.
You have Kopech, Evan Phillips. You have Tanner Scott. You have Kirby Yates. You have Blake Trinan. These guys.
You missed Bruzdar.
Yeah. I mean, the starters only need 5 innings.
Yeah, but they have 10 of them.
Right. That's the other problem.
They have like 10 major league level starters, at least from what they list. You know, I'm looking now. I mean, like, I don't know.
Bobby Millers, dude.
I don't know if Landon Knack is, you know.
Emmett Sheehan.
Yeah, Emmett Sheehan. Gavin Stone's hurt. River
Bobby
Ryan,
Miller.
You know.
River Ryan's good.
Okay, but still, like, is hurt. You know, they've still got Kershaw, Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, Roki, Otani, Glasnow, Yamamoto, and Snell. Who's pitching? So if you're five guys, if you're basic, like, so it makes me wonder how much they're just changing how they're gonna play the season of baseball. Like, are they gonna have a 6-man rotation? Like, realistically, are they gonna have a 6-man rotation? Because Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Ohtani, and Sasaki, that's 5. Dustin May, Gonsolin, Kershaw, Knack, Sheehan. What are you doing? How are we doing?
You have Shohei coming back from Tommy John. Roki has only pitched in 6-man rotations, so you just spread it out.
Yeah, well, okay. So I put Shohei in there, and I guess that is a little misleading because we don't even know if Shohei.
Tyler Glasnow's always hurt.
Yeah, but still, it's insane. And then they have less people listed on their depth chart. They have less people listed in their bullpen than they do in their starting rotation.
Put Bobby Miller in that bullpen, and he could throw 102 every pitch.
Yeah,
like, it's insane.
And then you have Austin Barnes as a backup catcher. Like, that's how far you are. Like, I mean, dude, there's just so much here. Freeman, Muncy, and Hernandez as your depth chart for first base. They're all starters. All starters.
You got to get them in the 3 or a 5 game series. That's the way to beat them.
Edman.
Tommy Edman was great.
I am not a fan of him, but man, in the playoffs, he was like a fucking murderer.
Will Smith is clutch.
Yeah, Mookie is just so freaking good. Conforto, Teoscar, you're not a fan of, but yeah, I mean, look, they're not. I'm gonna be honest. Like, for the most part, their lineup compared to their pitching, their lineup isn't as scary. Like, yeah, they've like the Yankees lineup scares me more than the Dodgers lineup, like, quite a bit. Honestly, like, even. Okay, so lineup wise, Kike, I love Kike, don't get me wrong, but he's a hit for average, get on base guy. You know, like, who on this roster is hitting 50 home runs? Is Mookie hitting 50 home runs?
No, nobody. That's a big ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, Shohei
Teoscar
will, right? Teoscar will hit 30 to 40. Right, yeah. Mookie will probably get over 40. I don't know if Max Muncy can still hit 30,
25.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think their offense is as scary as their overpowering pitching. So, like, if injuries, you know, when we started this whole show, fucking what, 2.5, 3 hours ago at this point, we're 2.5 hours. I don't see the Dodgers as threateningly, I guess, like, because when you just start, like, when you go through every lineup, yeah, offenses are good, man. Players play. They're all professionals. They're all here to do their jobs. The pitching, though, there's no rotation or bullpen, let alone combination of the two, that is even remotely as stacked as that is.
Arizona,
their rotation is really fucking good, dude.
Right?
Okay,
and they could shut down.
Dude, we're gonna have to play a game with this at some point, right? Like, so who would you rather have? Like, who's your ace on each team? If you designate an ace for each team, you got to keep Shohei out, right? So, is Blake Snell your okay? So, I mean, that's iffy, right? Like, I would take. Would you take Corbin Burns or Blake Snell? I'd take Corbin Burns.
I would take Blake.
Okay, Yamamoto or Zach Gallen?
Zach Gallen.
I would have said Yamamoto, so we've disagreed here, but we're 1-1. Glasnow or Merrill Kelly?
Glasnow.
I think Glasnow too, actually, so we agree on that.
But Roki.
I'll skip Ohtani. We're on to Roki. Roki or Rodriguez? Eduardo or Rodriguez?
Probably Roki.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next ones are Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, but then you're into Brandon Pfaadt or Jordan Montgomery and Ryan Nelson.
Both were great in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, I mean, okay, fine, but like Tony Gonsolin, he's proven. Clayton Kershaw is probably too old. I don't know if I trust him anymore. I
wouldn't start him in the playoffs.
I don't mean too old age-wise either. I mean he's just got too many miles on his fucking tires, right?
He sucks in the playoffs though, too.
Yeah. Anyway, we should move on to the Giants and close this bitch out.
The Giants.
Yeah.
Jason Hayward, Elias Diaz, Connor Joe, Jose Iglesias, Yuli Gurriel, and didn't they get Verlander?
Yeah, they did. So that's their off season right there.
And Willie Adames.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was the Padres. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm on the Padres.
Okay.
So they got Nick Pivetta, Elias Diaz, Connor Joe, Jason Hayward, Kyle Hart, Iglesias, and Gurriel.
No,
they lost.
The Giants got Willie Adames.
No, I was on the Padres. Oh,
no, the Giants have Willie Adames.
Adames and Verlander.
Yeah.
They lost Snell, Conforto, Taylor Rogers, and Mark Canha. Tell me how that they compete with any of this. They don't.
Okay, so
they're not in the ballpark.
Yastrzemski is really good.
Okay, he's okay.
I don't know. That's about it. Heliot Ramos, good. Willie Adames, okay. Matt Chapman, good.
Yeah, he's good.
But yeah, they're not.
Patrick Bailey, he's got to hit. He's a great catcher, but he needs to hit.
Their rotation's not bad. I mean, Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Jordan Hicks, but
Kyle Harrison.
You got Kyle Harrison, Hayden Birdsong. Dude, Hayden Birdsong, yeah, he might be good. They've got young talent on this team. But yeah, they brought in Verlander. I have a feeling that was definitely like a, hey, we need like a mentor. We need a mentor. We've got some young talent, we'll pay you. You'll get to play when you want. He's probably going to sit out a lot of the season. He'll probably be around the team the whole time though, like
Kate can have her Hooters out at the day games.
And I mean, who doesn't want that, right? Like, who doesn't want that at the ballpark? I mean, look, San Francisco, solid market, good team. They're not competing. We can move on quickly.
All right, back to the Padres.
Yeah, let's do the Padres.
Nick Pivetta, who was really good last year.
Yeah.
Then they got Elias Diaz, Connor Joe, Jason Hayward, Iglesias, and Gurriel. But they lost Tanner Scott, Jurickson Profar, Kim, Higashioka. This is the team that can compete with Arizona but they also could sell. They could get rid of Cease. They could get rid of King. Then they have Tatis and a whole bunch of
Arias.
He's good, but
he's really
would you want him on your team?
Yeah, 100%.
Who would he start over?
Luis Arias? Well, right now they have him at first base, so he'd start over, or Michael Busch.
You would take that trade?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Arias is one person where if there was like a combo trade with San Diego that I had to give up Nico Horner, I'd have to get like Tatis back, but still, no, I like him. I do. I like him a lot, and I think he's really good. I like this rotation is very solid, but again, they're gonna have to deal with a lot. Arizona and LA are both very good, as we've covered. Dylan Cease, he's got that White Sox stink. Michael King, Yu Darvish, Nick Pivetta, Matt Waldron.
Waldron's hurt. The knuckleballer.
Okay, so Randy Vasquez. They've also got Joe Musgrove, Kyle Hart, Stephen Kolek.
Joe's out for the year.
Okay, is he?
Yeah.
What happened to Musgrove?
He had surgery at the end of the year last year.
Oh. Anyway, bullpen is Nothing. I
Trash.
don't even know. I don't even know these names, most of them, so I'm not even gonna. But
Do
yeah,
they have Tito Ornielas as a starter?
Elias Diaz is your catcher. So
He's
Kyle Higgins.
37.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah.
Elias Diaz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you got
fair.
Camponsano behind him, and he's coming up.
He's good.
Yeah, he is. Luis Ariz, Connor Joe at first.
Connor
Jake-
Joe is not a
Jake
starter.
at second.
He sucks. He's so overhyped.
So I don't understand why you wouldn't have Arias at second and Connor Joe at first.
Because you don't want to start Connor Joe every day. We did that.
No, fair
here.
enough. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Fair
we
enough.
did that.
Machado at third. So one of the few teams that has like a high level second base.
Bogarts at short.
Cronenworth, I like. Yeah, Bogarts at short. Hayward
Tatis
at
and
left. Hayward can't fucking play baseball anymore.
Right.
Like he hasn't
And
been
then
able to play
Merrill.
baseball for years. Jackson Merrill is like one of those guys that you like. I'm rooting for, but I wouldn't. Whatever. Tatis. Yeah. So yes, okay, I could see where this is a team that sells, but then you're still stuck with Fernando Tatis and a fairly expensive rotation.
But you trade him.
The rotation.
Dude, their GM will trade everybody.
So like, I mean, you Darvish, dude. He's 34. Yeah, he's 40 or he's 39. 38,
But
39.
King will get you something. Cease will get you something. Put Cease in Atlanta.
Okay.
Put King. Put King on the Mets.
So Robert Suarez is their closer, but that's about it. Yeah, I don't.
Estrada. Jeremiah Estrada's good.
They're gonna have to. They're probably like, if I had to guess, which is what we're doing here, I'm gonna
Third.
put them third out of those three. Like Arizona's better, and LA is probably better, but their strengths and weaknesses are so interesting to me as to how they're gonna play each other. And of course, injuries matter. I say all of this like I'm shutting down the show because all we have left is the Rockies. Do you have anything you want to say about the Rockies?
Oh my God. Their off season of getting Jacob Stallings re-signed, getting Kyle Farmer, getting Cairo Estrada, and getting Scott Alexander. That invigorates me.
Oh my God. Dude, we're all so fired up.
Charlie Condon, their number 3 draft pick, is already hurt. There's no future there.
I have Michael Toglia as my starting first baseman in my current franchise because he was available after I drafted every other position other than first base. Like I don't like, they don't have anybody on this roster that like at any position.
He's a major leaguer.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far. That's kind of brutal. Toglia is young at least, or Talia.
Who else do they have?
Tierra Estrada, Kyle Farmer, Ryan McMahon,
He'll be
Tovar.
Ryan McMahon to the Yankees.
Okay. Tovar. Nolan Jones is probably tradable.
He's good. He's good though.
He's probably tradable though. Brenton Dole, Jordan
Doyle.
Beck. Fucking that's a 2001.
Oh my God, who's the fucking guy that killed the Pirates last year? Hunter Goodman. I think he's their backup catcher.
Goodman is their backup catcher. He is, yes, very well.
Yeah,
done.
he had like 9 RBIs against the Pirates.
Yeah, Jacob Stallings is their starter. He's old. Yeah, dude. I mean, they're at the bottom. They're the
Miami Marlins.
They no. Yeah, no. Was that right? Yeah. Are the Marlins Miami, or I thought they were Florida? Are they Miami?
Miami. Yeah, they're Miami.
So then what's the other Florida team?
The Rays.
Are those the only two ones? Anyway, no, they're more like the fucking Washington Nationals.
But they don't have anybody that they can trade either.
Yeah, fair enough.
They have no future. They're just there.
That's Milwaukee. That's fucking Milwaukee. They have nothing. They have nothing to look forward to. They're done.
No, they well, look at that roster, and then could they get anybody that Christian Yelich would get in a trade? No.
Oh, on Colorado?
Right. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't have anybody that could net them in a trade. They're just
I hear you. Okay. Okay, so give me your 6 winners.
All right. So it's not the Rockies. I'll go Arizona over the Dodgers.
Okay.
I will go Cubs over the Reds.
Okay.
It has to be the Mets over the Phillies.
Has to be.
The Yankees over the Red Sox.
Ooh.
Then I'll go the Royals over Detroit. Texas over Oakland.
All right.
Oakland in second.
Wow. That's okay, hold on. So the Tatars over Oakland.
Yeah.
I got to make sure I write that part down specifically because that's like the ballsy part of that.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, last year I picked the Blue Jays for some reason, or maybe I picked the Orioles. I don't remember, but it's got.
We all picked the Orioles.
Yeah, I think we did. It's got to be the Yankees for me coming out of the East. Obviously, I'm gonna take I had the Royals winning over the Guardians though. But you may have talked me into the Tigers tonight. I got to be honest. If anything, what I had going in, there were times where you kind of convinced me otherwise. So that may have been one of them there. But I think I'm sticking with it. I've got the Tatars over the Mariners. I've got the Braves over the Mets, which is weird because now I'm like, oh, the Phillies got to win. But I actually picked the Braves over the Mets. I think the Mets are going to win it. So I'm switching that one. That's what I wrote down. I'm picking the Mets. We're both on the Mets. Now the Mets are going to be third in that fucking division. I got the Cubs over the Pirates.
We've spent money, man.
I know. But the momentum that winning games with a top level pitcher, the crowds that you guys are going to pull this summer are probably going to look a little bit different than they have the last year or two. Maybe not last year. Skeens probably started drawing last year right off the bat, but it's just, I think you're going to have a fun summer in Pittsburgh.
Hopefully.
And I think you're going to have a couple fun summers. That doesn't mean you're going to make the playoffs, but I do think you're going to have a fun summer. So, and then I picked the Dodgers over the Padres, which once again, you kind of convinced me that they're going to be third, but things happen in baseball. And I saw Corbin Carroll play weird baseball last year. And rotations have to stay healthy. So I'm still sticking with the Padres at second. And the only reason that matters is because the Dodgers got to win it. But yeah, I definitely like the D-backs much more than I liked them prior to the show. So thank you for that. Out of the NL, since we did just the 6, I'm gonna take NL. Dodgers to the World Series, obviously, and Yankees. Dodgers, Yankees in the World Series. Has anybody heard that one before?
God, I hope not.
Yeah, but you got to make it make sense for it not to happen, right? And I think there are very few options on the table for ways without it being weird, right? Like there are 162 games, several months worth of baseball to be played. So a lot of crazy shit can happen, right? But when you're talking about all things being equal over the long haul of a season, all of the stats and everything else playing out, man, it takes a lot for you to convince me that somebody is going to beat the Dodgers either in the NL or in the World Series. So that kind of goes for the Yankees too.
I'm going to go with Arizona winning it all over the Royals.
If we have a Kansas, right, hold on.
Why not?
Dude, I want that so bad, Mike.
Right?
Like, I'm just not picking it because I'm doing that thing where I'm like, I'm going by what I believe, not what I want.
So I'm gonna
and KC. So if we got that as a World Series, I would be in baseball heaven. MLB wouldn't be, right?
No, not
like
at all.
Talk about the two World Series we're talking about, and I think you and I talked about this before the World Series last year because people were bitching about LA and New York because who wants it? Who outside of Arizona, and how many people in Arizona, and how many people out of Missouri or Kansas actually fucking like? And even there are very small. Those are two very small market teams, man. But after going through every single lineup tonight, those two lineups and those two rotations would put on an electric. So we book it like WWE and let's get Arizona and Kansas City to the World Series. Hell yeah. MAZ and SACK cast approved.
How about this? If these trades that we talked about would go down,
man, you came up.
Philly winning the NL,
yeah, that could change it, couldn't it?
And Texas in the final in the World Series.
Dude, Philly Texas World Series would be pretty fucking
with
boss.
Mike Trout in center for the Phillies.
So the trades that we discussed, that one in particular, thank you for bringing that back up. Yeah, I would. Other than Zona KC as is, that would be amazing. First of all, if Mike Trout can get traded to anybody other than the Dodgers or the Yankees and they can go to the World Series, I would be happy. But the when you discussed him to the Phillies, I jizzed in my pants.
I think that we have some shorts here too that we can make. Some TikToks.
Yeah, I think so too. Dude, we just ripped almost 3 hours tonight out of nowhere.
It was a great show too.
Oh, I fucking loved every minute of it. And we crispied it from start to finish. Never stopped, never slowed. Love it. You did great tonight, brother. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm glad we talked about baseball. Love you. Anyone who's watching us right now. Thank you.
Like, comment, subscribe. Give us your trades.
Yeah. Give
us your picks.
Check us out down there at all of our stuff, right down there. All of our stuff.
If you go to our X account, you can Linktree and you can get in touch with us. Any sponsors, SeatGeek, Manscaped, we love to shave our balls. Underdog Fantasy, you just call us, text us.
Fuck,
we need money, baby.
You're fucking great, bro. Hey, check out. Hey, Mike Rips. Check him out.
I heard that guy's doing some big things over there on YouTube.
Check him out, Mike Rips. Check him out. Ooh, I think there's a new video going up on Sack Streams this week too. My daughter made a little XFM animation she wants me to put up. So,
all right.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sack Streams is back in full effect.
Yeah, dude. We're cooking. Spring is around the corner, and baseball comes with it. And I've never felt more motivated to get a lot of shit going. Just such fucking dude. Life is fucking awesome right now, man. Enjoy baseball, guys. Enjoy life. See you later. We're out. Peace.